Welcome to FSP. This is episode number 43. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Fun Speculation Podcast is back again, and we're going to have some interesting discussions, as always, just because of the whole shenanigans again with FTC. We're going to talk about games releasing this week. Surprisingly, quite a few. We're going to talk about a game that I already just played a little while ago here on a stream. And also maybe some more Game Awards talk and some more Xbox discussions and stuff like that. Maybe PlayStation and the FTC and what's going on with Microsoft buying stocks or not buying stock, but investing in the London Stock Exchange, I think is what it was called, right? So it's going to be interesting, but I want to give a shout out to the chat. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? What's up, Talos Ray, Justin MK114, Andrew Cullinane, RSJ fan. How's it going? Alvin, what up? WhySoSerious. Thank you all for tuning into the show. Appreciate you guys. And let's get to the panel here. And we do have Psycho. I wasn't sure Psycho was going to make it because it's his birthday. So we'll start with Psycho. Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How's your day been going?
It's been going pretty good. Been playing some games with my little brother online, and I've had Game Pass for so long. I totally forgot that you actually have to have live service to play games. So I'm on the PS5 trying to play Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and I'm like, I need a fucking subscription service to play online. I totally forgot.
Yeah. It's still a thing on Xbox too. It's like something that just needs to die, you know.
Yeah.
You can play the free to play games online, like if you want to play Fortnite on your PS5 or Warzone, you can do that.
Yeah, but we were trying to play some Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and they were like, "Ah, fuck." I was like, maybe next time. So we jumped off that, got into the fuck we playing Insurgent Sandstorm a little bit.
Nice.
He loved it. He's like, oh, this feels like fucking the real shit. He's like, I'm in the thick of it because he's in the army. So he's like, yeah, this is fucking great. And I'm like, so I'm just, we played that for a little bit and then had a birthday cake, and here I am.
Did your mom make the cake?
Oh yeah, it's a chocolate fucking
nice.
Oh yeah, dude.
Well, happy birthday again, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here on your birthday too. You absolutely did not have to, but it's cool.
Oh, it's all good.
Speaking of birthdays, I want to give a huge shout out to 3-Bit, because guess what? These two guys were separated at birth. They got mixed up in the hospital. Their parents got confused. Psycho and 3-Bit are born in the same day, not necessarily the same year, or even the same decade. But it is 3-Bit's birthday also. So huge shout out to 3-Bit. We love you as well, man. And yeah, it's a big day because two birthdays in the Fun Spec fam on the same day. So that's pretty awesome. Fuzzy, what's up with you, man? How's it going, dude?
Oh, it's been going pretty good. The shutdown bug came back briefly with playing Insurgency, actually.
Oh, really?
And it's still plugged into the wall. I mean, it's only happened the one time, but that was enough for me to kind of like just play on my PS5 for a little bit so I don't get too mad at my Xbox. But yeah, I've been having fun with Insurgency. I got to put a clip together, which I got to add audio because it's not the DVR that messed up. It's their replay system. Like the cool thing about Insurgency, like if you didn't get a clip or didn't record part of the match that you were in, they actually keep track for a couple of weeks of all of your matches. So you can go back into like your stats, check out history, and it replays it. And you can either stay from the first person perspective for your character or any of the other, NPCs or other players, or you can do like a third person or like a free roam type camera for that whole event.
Right on.
And I had a pretty beast match where I had like 75 kills, but I kind of cheated because it was one of those things where I was on the gun for the insurgent pickup truck, killed the people that drove it up, took the gun, and then on that last round, just wailed on the waves of enemies coming in. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, just been having fun with gaming. Happy birthday, Psycho! Happy birthday to 3-Bit as well. Man, awesome to be here. Got some fire stuff to talk about as far as all this FTC stuff and deals and offers, and Sony is probably still going to be like, you know, I don't know.
Oh,
but
for sure.
we'll
They
get
already
into it.
have. I mean, they were already offered that. So they already had said no. So it's interesting, but we'll get into that a little bit. Jasper, how's it going, dude? How are you?
My week has been complete ass.
Oh,
So my phone just decided to update, and it like froze on the update, so then I had to factory reset it. So I lost my 2-factor authenticator app, and it wiped that. So now I have to try to get all my fucking accounts back, and they couldn't fix it at the store, so I had to buy a whole new fucking phone. And since I couldn't get the number off the phone since it was fucking broken, they couldn't upgrade me, so I literally had to buy a whole new fucking phone. So my week has been
Wow.
amazing.
Oh, damn.
wow.
Where'd you go? AT&T?
It's T-Mobile.
What kind of phone did you grab? Did you get an iPhone or Android?
S22.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Well, at least you got a good phone. For all your mobile gaming you do, I'm sure that
Yeah,
you
but
love
now I
it.
have a fucking $1,000 paperweight that I bought less than a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with it exactly? Like,
So there was a carrier T-Mobile update. I hit download update, and then it froze to a blue screen. So then I had to factory reset it, and it wiped the SIM card and all like the hardware information off the phone. So they couldn't get the certain number off the phone to do an upgrade to a new phone. So I have
they
no
just
trade-in
said
value.
like,
Yeah.
wow, that's
Wow,
crazy.
Dude, that's like on them. Why? Yeah, dude, I'd be.
Was it
going
a
back
T-Mobile
talking to
update or
management.
was it a Samsung update?
It was a T-Mobile update.
Oh my god, dude, you have like a lawsuit on your hands. Let's go. You need to get Hoag Law on board. You know, we'll get some lawyers out there that like you had to buy a new phone because you downloaded a T-Mobile update and it jacked your phone up. That's crazy,
Yep.
dude. What?
We'll call Gaz.
We'll call Gaz. That sucks, man.
Luckily, I've got most of my major accounts back. Like, I have a crypto account that I have like a couple $1,000s in. So luckily, I got that one back. I was kind of
Yeah, dude, that's crazy, man. Sorry to hear that, bro. That is pretty crazy. But
yeah. So my week's been great.
yeah. Did you do you remember your Marvel Snap login?
I mean, I'd play that on the computer, so I'm all right on that.
Okay. Right on. Yeah, so I been pretty busy. I haven't had a lot of time to play as many games as I want to last several days. I played some High on Life about an hour and 15 minutes or so right before we went live. So I was checking that out. And other than that, still I dabble in some Need for Speed Unbound. And yeah, I don't know what else have I been playing. Oh yeah, we've been actually, I don't know, we've been playing Hello Neighbor. We played Hello Neighbor 2 as a family and we beat it. It was pretty fun actually. And then we tried to go back to the first one, and oh my god, the first one is like it's ridiculous. Like I don't know. I think they did a better job in the second one, even though it's buggy as hell, of like making it a little bit more accessible, right? But yeah, dude, haven't been able to play as much lately. Yeah, me and Kate played COD the other day. I played some Warzone. I played like an hour of Midnight Suns on my Kishi the other night, and that game actually plays really well.
Just beat that today.
Did you?
Yep.
Nice. Did you like the ending or?
Yeah, it's something they kind of leaves it open. So
Yeah,
maybe we'll get a sequel. I don't know if
Yeah.
it does well.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm hoping it does well because this is a good game. That game
It's
does
like-
play well on mobile though. That's what I was trying to get at because it's like when you're in the tactic style gameplay, if you got any latency or anything like that, it doesn't matter. You know. Were you saying, Psycho?
I was gonna say, was it a gaping hole?
Oh my god. So yeah, High on Life. I want to talk a little bit about High on Life. Have any of you guys had a chance to play it at all?
Yeah, I got like 2.5 hours in.
2.5. What about you, Psycho?
Yeah, after we figured out that it went live, I was playing it.
Yeah. So I've got, like I said, I got about like an hour and 15 in. This is a day one Game Pass game by Squanch Games. So I'm actually enjoying the game. was laughing a lot, having some fun with it.
Yeah.
But it does have some issues as well.
Yeah.
The main thing, honestly, everybody's talking about the frame rate because the frame rate does need some help on this game. I don't know. I haven't even looked at the stats. It felt almost like it was like an inconsistent 30 at times, but then it felt faster than that at times. So I don't know if the frame rate's just all over the place or what, but it definitely has that slight shake when you turn the screen, you know? So it's not like a smooth 60 or anything like that. So that's one issue. Hopefully they can get that optimized a little bit more. But it has not been bad enough to take my enjoyment out of it because it's so funny. And the second thing, I like the gunplay, but the other issue I had is the checkpoint system, like the waypoint. When you bring that up, it's just broken as hell. That thing does not point you where you need to go most of the time.
I feel like if you look at it, it just goes away. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they need to really improve the waypoint system because if you walk to it and then like you click it again, it like tells you to go back sometimes where you just came from, and it's like, what am I supposed to do? So that's two issues with the game. Now this is an indie game. This is like these guys, I think, second game that they've made, but this is like going maybe a third. I'm not sure exactly how many, but this is definitely by far the biggest game they've made so far. Though, so good especially if they can get some of these little issues taken care of.
I'm switching to PC if my Xbox save carries over.
Okay.
Yeah,
because it's that bad for me.
Right.
I'm enjoying it. There's just some points that I was just like, the first boss fight, that was like, I had to stop after that because it was fucking with my eyes a little bit. But man, the fucking banter that you have with the gun, and then in Knifey, bro, Knifey is off the chain. He has no chill.
I will say I am kind of disappointed in that though, because like I got Knifey, I did his whole mission, but like I'm on the second bounty now, and he hasn't said a word since that first mission. So it seems like he just goes quiet.
I'm just starting the second mission right now, so we'll see. I wonder if there aren't situations where he's comes to life. Meaning like when you interact with certain objects, or that's when he talks. Because I know the main gun is the main, I guess, character of the game.
I think you eventually get new guns though. So
yeah, you get new guns. But this character, I mean, because
because it's Morty's voice or whatever.
Yeah. Which, man, I tell you, when I first started the game, I'm like, well, what's up with this 8-bit? What am I playing?
Doom clone or whatever.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Intro. That was pretty fun to play. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I didn't mind it.
I'm your divorce lawyer. You gotta kill your your ex-wife.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on?
Your ex-wife divorced you, and fucking all these guys. Go kill them.
I had a panic moment because I thought my game was broken because it wouldn't let me crouch, and I realized I was hitting the wrong crouch button the whole time.
It's down.
Yeah, it's down. I guess I subconsciously just read it when it first gave me the prompt and did it. And then when I went to go do it for the second time, I kept hitting the wrong button because I'm just so used to my right stick being crouched. And then I hit all the other buttons. I'm like, what is it? And it's down on the D-pad. Okay. That's interesting, but figured that out.
I like the Sam Fisher triple goggles there when you went down in the ducks in Buck Thunder 2 in the beginning. I don't know if you noticed.
I thought it was a weird lighting. I didn't notice he put on goggles or whatever.
Yeah, it was night vision. You look like Sam Fisher when you're going through the air ducts. That's why I took a screenshot. I was like, yes. And then like I was watching part of they had a real movie playing on the TV.
Yeah.
Tammy and the T-Rex.
I watched like 5 minutes of that.
Dude, I'm like, Paul Walker and Denise Richards is right now. There's a real movie being played. I'm like, what the fuck?
I was almost afraid to I wanted to kind of sit there and watch it, but because I was streaming, I was afraid to sit there because I don't know what would happen with that. I know they got the rights to it, but I don't know what happens with YouTube and stuff. And speaking of that,
about the UFC, so.
Yeah, our Game Awards stream is blocked visibility right now. Yeah. So we had the co-stream for the Game Awards. We had it we had a record turnout. It was awesome, amazing people coming through, and for whatever reason, I was expecting to get copyright claims. I always do for every co-stream, even though you're not supposed to, right? And those I just usually edit out, and it takes a long time because YouTube Studios processing takes like 2 days to process that long of a video. It's ridiculous, you know. So I'm used to that though. What I wasn't expecting is a third copyright claim to come through like 2 days later when I was still processing the first ones. And the copyright claim that came through for the Game Awards was from UFC. They claimed that it was video from UFC, and they completely blocked the visibility of it. So,
What?
yep.
Usually when they block it, they say it's like certain time slots. Like,
Yeah, it's like 30 seconds. Yeah, it's just like an advertisement for games. It was like in the in-between stage when there's like a little bit of a commercial time, and it was like just all game stuff.
I'm wondering if it like got a picture like the stage or something, and it thought it was like the arena at UFC or something. It was just like,
nope, there was absolutely zero anything from UFC in that entire
yeah, I know.
stream.
I'm just saying, like the AI bot that like looks at it, whatever's like, it saw the stage and it's like, oh, that looks like a UFC arena. So
Right, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what happened with it. It's like the bots, you know, YouTube's got to do something with these copyright bots because they don't know what the hell they're doing. I've gotten weird copyrights. I got a copyright for our Xbox Ultimate intro music before on like all of our Xbox Ultimate episodes when it's like open source music, right? I gotten claimed for this and that all over the place. Usually it's not a huge issue. In this case, they actually blocked our whole 5.5 hour stream. And do I dispute it? I can try, and it'll go through a process. And like now I got to worry if I dispute it, will they even look at it, or will they just like take it to make me go to appeals and stuff? And then if they and here's the way it works with YouTube. If YouTube says, I mean, if whoever says, yeah, no, it's ours, no matter what, then they don't do anything about it. Like, so you just get screwed unless you like try and take them like do legal stuff, which like not gonna do that. So I am literally processing out right now the 30 seconds of the show that they say there's UFC content in, just to get rid of it, right? But anyway, it's just stupid stuff. YouTube, get your shit fixed, please, because it's so annoying. All right, guys. We got some gaming discussions to get to. What do y'all want to start with? You want to start with the whole FTC thing? You know, not FTC, the Microsoft and Sony thing. I think it'd be a good.
Are you talking about the Call of Duty thing?
Yeah, the Call of Duty thing.
Yeah.
So y'all remember it was like last week or early last week. I think it was early last week sometime. And Microsoft had come out that they had made an offer for 10 years to PlayStation for Call of Duty, and we're like, wow.
Well, they didn't offer it to PlayStation yet, right?
Yeah, they offered 10 years to PlayStation, like the day that came out the day before.
I was thinking of the Brad Smith.
I think that actually came out on Wednesday. That where Microsoft had offered a 10-year deal, a licensing deal to put Call of Duty on PlayStation platforms. Well, Sony still said no. And they want to still let the regulators fight this out and trying to use the regulators to get this deal blocked and stuff. And it came out today, which is crazy because this caught everybody off guard. I've seen some interesting comments from the community on this. So it came out today that Microsoft, in that 10-year offer, had also put on the table, which Phil had alluded to in the past as well, had put on the table that they're willing to bring Call of Duty to PlayStation Plus, as well as Game Pass, right? So I feel like Microsoft really has done, like, okay, you got Nintendo, you got Steam, you got PlayStation, you got PlayStation Plus. Like, they're really trying to check all the boxes here. And for what Sony obviously is still playing the long game on this, hoping for the best. But yeah, it's crazy. So I've seen 2 responses today. I've seen like people like, actually I've seen 3. Some people are like, what the fuck is Xbox doing? Right. They're like bending over for PlayStation and getting fucked. This is pretty much what some people are saying. And like, why are they doing this to themselves? and like, why are you letting them treat you like this? You just be strong, and stick of giving PlayStation everything. Is if people saying kill the deal because of this and all that kind of stuff as well. I've seen people like, I don't care, like if they get PlayStation Plus, like I'm on that train. Like if they get PlayStation Plus, I still get in Game Pass. I mean, it doesn't affect me any, and I think it's actually good for the PlayStation gamers as well. So that isn't anything off my back. And then I've kind of seen people just be like, yeah, they just want the deal to be absolutely done with now. And so I don't know, but the other part of this is like, I feel like this also makes the FTC and Sony actually look worse, and actually applies more fragility to their whole legal battle, if you want to say that. Like, because if it gets to August, like evidentiary hearing and all these kind of things, you can bring to the table all these different scenarios, right? Look, we offered them to even put it in their cloud service. So what are you saying? Like, we're offering this deal. Would Sony do it? I don't know. I don't know if they'd be willing to pay for that, right? But I want to know where you guys are at with this. Psycho, you kind of seem like you already alluded to, like you're on my train. I don't really care. I just want this deal to get closed because it's over with, because it's affecting other business, and like I think it's not a huge deal either way, personally.
Yeah, see, I had a couple of conversations on Twitter with a couple people saying, this is Microsoft bending over backwards. They just need to fucking kill the deal. And I'm like, listen, and and I used what Steely said in the DMs. I was like, if they have to use COD as a sacrificial lamb per se, just to get the deal done, that's just one IP. The one IP that's holding up a whole entire deal.
What if it was all formerly released on PlayStation games?
Well, that's legacy titles. That'd be the same thing like the Bethesda deal. So we already had that going forward with how Microsoft handled the Bethesda legacy titles. And if that's what I was thinking at first, was legacy titles possibly being multi-plat with Call of Duty, and then all new IPs exclusive, just like Starfield and Redfall with Bethesda. So that was my understanding. So I'm on the train, like right now, like, yeah, if Call of Duty, if it goes to the PS Plus, yeah, the only people are, because I think Microsoft, it can go there, but Sony still has to pay for it to come there, from what I understand it. They're not just giving it for free. We're allowed, like it's stated, hey, it can come there, but from what I'm understanding, you have to also purchase to be on your. It's just like any Game Pass deal, So if you want the title on your PS Plus, you have to pay for it. So if they're going to do that, that's still up in the air. We don't know yet,
right?
But,
and they don't even put their own games there, right? So
I can kind of see those Sony. I can kind of see why they would not take that deal though, because all Microsoft have to do is be like, Call of Duty's free to play now, and then Sony gets no fucking money out of it.
Yeah,
well,
but
that's
they've
the thing.
already alluded to that they're going to keep like the parity, all these different situations. So regardless if it's free to play or not, like, which I think it could eventually go free to play also.
Yeah, I'm assuming Call of Duty will go to free to play eventually.
Yeah,
anyway.
but that like, would that hurt PlayStation if it went free to play? I mean,
lose out on the initial.
Yeah, but you get more players.
30 million sales.
You get more players.
They get 30% revenue from each.
Yeah, but like you get.
They should be able to get.
There's a reason why all these
the microtransactions.
Yeah, they get all those. They get more microtransactions in that case. So like, there's a reason like Fortnite's free to play. You're gonna say Fortnite's struggling because it's free to play, or like
I'm not saying that. I'm
Warzone's
saying
making hand over fist too.
On let's say there's like 50 million people that buy Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony's losing out on that initial cost for all those people.
Yeah, but what if the Call of Duty came out as a completely different scenario of a way of making Call of Duty games, and the monetization makes them even more money, right? I get like what you're saying, but like there's a reason the free to play games go free to play, because they get more players,
more off microtransactions. Yeah, I
right.
get that, but it's like I think Sony wants both of those pies, because right now Call of Duty has that, and
but they don't have as many players as like the other big free to play games do, though. Like, I mean,
See,
Warzone has more players than COD because it's free to play.
Yeah, for that's initially like what I've kind of been seeing in a couple people in the community. What I'm seeing is that Call of Duty, they, even though it's being offered to PS Plus, Sony more than likely will do what they normally do, offer it for $70, and then however 6 months, a year later, then be like, oh, it's in PS Plus now. Just kind of like what they did with Deathloop. So I think that is where, because they want that 30% pie from every game sold, plus that percentage that they get from MTX,
microtransactions.
and they want part of that. They want both. They're fucking greedy.
Yeah.
That's what's it's fucking Sony. That's why they're fighting this, because they don't want Microsoft to have this. Even if they went that route, they offer $70 and then eventually go to be in PS Plus. That they might not get a lot of players right off the rip, because Xbox is being Game Pass, and that this is a way maybe bypassing, like, hey, we offered it to them. If they didn't want to put in PS Plus right away, that is not that's not our responsibility. That's up to them. They do whatever they want. We have here we laid it out for them. This is the route they went. That's solely on Sony. If this is being going forward through the FTC, EU, and the CMA, we will see. But it's just it's just silly with Sony right now, because I don't think they know if they want to want that into PS Plus, because then of course they don't get that 30% revenue cut. So it's one of those, like, you offer it and it's like a double-edged sword for them. Now it's like, here, we give it to them, they can put it in their service if they want, and then it's like, and then Sony's just like, but I want the 30%. I want that cut. And then it looks greedy on them. It's like, hold on, you can't have your fucking cake and eat it too, motherfuckers. So we'll see how the FTC, EU, and the CMA takes this information with their rulings. We just wonder what if this had any substantial outcome.
See, because I would give you
from
like
this.
free to play not being a problem for any other game, but Call of Duty's always the number one selling game every year, even on PlayStation platforms. So it's like that would like affect them. They are going to lose out like on at least like 300, 400, 500 million dollars every year, just because it's going free to play.
Yeah, I don't know if Microsoft will put that to free to play.
Yeah, I don't know, but I would
multiplayer, possibly multiplayer, but the thing with Call of Duty, people, not everyone that plays Call of Duty plays it for the story. They play it for the multiplayer.
Yeah,
it's not like Halo.
You could also do like a $40
$60
campaign or something like that, So
well,
I'm just saying that like
Halo is 60, so I'm like, would it be 40?
Just
They
like
probably
I'm just
not,
saying that
actually.
because like the Call of Duty community over the years has been wanting to go more of a live service game anyway. Just like continue adding on. So instead of having to reset every year with new maps, just like keep carrying shit forward.
But I wouldn't necessarily equate going into that model as to automatic loss of revenue, because it just depends on what the return on investment is based on the model and how many players you got and how many people invest
that's like
in
why
it.
Sony wouldn't necessarily take that deal, because they
I mean, they could be afraid of that, but that's also not their game either. So it's like, that's a decision. They're going live service on a lot of their stuff also. So they see the value in it. But it's like, if COD comes on there, it's going to make them a shit ton of money either way. Right. So it's like, they're at that point though. But I mean, you're like, for them, like, for them to say like, well, that's not guaranteed money. I mean, like, it's going to be guaranteed money, and it's going to be, who knows, it could be even more money than they're making now. Like, it's not necessarily guaranteed that's going to be less. Maybe they're afraid of that, but at the same time, even if it's on PlayStation Plus, that would get them two things. They would make they would gain subscribers, so they get guaranteed revenue, right, from that. in PS Plus Extra, which has a extremely low amount right now compared to Game Pass. Plus, they would also still make money on all the microtransactions and expansion content, DLC, whatever they put on there. You know what I mean? So I think Sony is, I don't think it's necessarily about that. I think it's just them wanting to just get this deal fucked. And that's just the bottom line thing, regardless, no matter what. They just want they just don't want it to happen because they want the status quo. Right? And I don't think they honestly want to push cloud gaming as far right now. And I feel like because they're so far behind, even though they're going there, I feel like they feel like this would be a huge push in that. And they don't want to be pushed that much far forward to adjust their model yet. I think this is more about Sony being afraid to innovate faster because they don't have all the investment that Microsoft's been making since 2016 and all this stuff, right? With Azure and all these things. So they're looking at it being like, we want to keep this old model as long as possible. And that's why we want the deal shut down. Plus, they still want to like do their exclusivity deals with ABK and all that kind of stuff, which they could end up losing anyway, no matter what. Who knows?
Yeah.
But what about you, Fuzz? What did you think about this?
I'm kind of torn. So my big thing is the offer for PS Plus. I don't really have an issue with, but then that kind of leads to the bridge too far deal when it comes to the Bethesda stuff, because there's still this segment of journalists that are still wanting to push the, hey, Redfall and Starfield should be on PlayStation. That should be part of this negotiation, which I find a bit ridiculous, but we've seen crazy things over the past few weeks or months with this whole deal to begin with. So the fact that that's even a part of the conversation now is what bothers me. Like I don't want them to make this silly precedence where you purchase something and then your initial word is twisted and shown as being a lie when it really wasn't a lie. It was more like, hey, we're going to put these games where Game Pass exists. We're not going to take games away from existing platforms, i.e., games that have already been published, like your Fallout 76, your Elder Scrolls Online, things like that, where they're still going to get updates. Even Fallout 4 is going to get like a next gen patch update for free on PlayStation. So I don't see how the Bethesda deal should even remotely be kind of tossed in with this. That's where I have a problem. But as far as offering the PS Plus or offering COD on PS Plus, it doesn't bother me. But I know it bothers Sony because they're not going to want to take that deal, because now they're still out of control. They don't have control over that because Microsoft can still set the price. And then it's not like regulators can dictate. I mean, they could try, but they can't dictate a price that Sony's going to want to be willing to pay that is going to be reasonable for Microsoft. Like, let's just say for giggles here, the number for putting a game like COD in a subscription service for 6 months, from launch on to 6 months after launch. Let's say it's $300 million, because it's that big of a title, and you're more than likely going to have to pay to cover what would be lost in day one sales. So even though they do a lot more than that, but let's just say because it's in the service, because you could still have it where people buy the game because they know it's going to be out of PS Plus, let's say in the 6 month to a year process, and they're still going to want to play the game or own the game. That's going to be a $300 million check that Sony's going to have to write to Microsoft. And that's where the big problem is. They, like, kind of like what Phil said, Sony wants Xbox to remain small. They want to remain the dominant force in this industry. So even offering it on PS Plus doesn't really give them that dominance. So I don't think there's anything that you could possibly offer Sony that they'd be willing to accept. And I know Jasper, you had floated the idea as far as like a publishing thing, and I think that would definitely be in their favor. But I think at this point it is the nuclear scorched earth, approach now, where it's like, no, they want to see the world burn.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's almost like the scorned husband, the cheating wife goes over here. Well, screw her. Let all the cards fall down on their heads, kind of thing.
Do you think this
'Cause
makes their case look worse, though? You know what I mean? Like, if it gets that
it
far,
definitely makes their case look worse. But at this point, I don't think they even care, because they already know, like much like we've speculated, where if this deal falls apart, do they have any chance at marketing deals in the near future? Probably not, because not only the board and the investors for Activision are going to be, a bit perturbed at this deal falling apart if it should happen. They're going to look for somebody to blame. And yeah, they might look right at Bobby Kotick. They may look at Microsoft. They may look at the FTC and so forth. But I think the bottom line is they're going to look at their former, client or business partner, Sony, when they were making all these marketing deals, and be like, these guys are toxic as let's not bother doing any more business with them. So I think Sony knows this, and they're like, we rather just see everything burn in the process, because we already know we kind of burned that bridge and whatnot. So I'm fine with the PS Plus deal. I don't think Sony's going to take it, because it doesn't really benefit them, because they still have to give a check to Microsoft for hundreds of millions of dollars that they're probably not going to want to do.
I don't think they want to do that, Fuzz.
Hundreds of millions for marketing, but for PS Plus, especially considering the low numbers of subscribers that they have compared to what they would probably want their numbers to be. They would probably be happy
unless they got a hell of a deal.
subscribers.
Like, I don't think they would be willing to do it for what the market would be for that, because honestly, I can even tell you what the market number would be for that, because like there's never been a game like Call of Duty in Game Pass day one, right? So
and they did $1 billion in sales in like the first week or something. Like, that's just on their side, where they're getting the 30% cut. They did $1 billion in sales in like the first week or first 3 days or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
They didn't even do that with God of War, and that's their own title.
I feel like you have to offer at least like $1 billion to even get that in your service. Like,
you would think.
I don't know how much it would be like crazy.
Game's gonna make like $3 billion.
Well, how much do y'all think? Wasn't it leaked to how much the marketing deal cost them? Wasn't it like crazy, like $500 million or some shit like that? I can't remember that. There was some news a while back that had come out about that deal.
It was almost, I think it was 700 and something million.
For the market.
Really?
So is it like 4 years or something? Or
I can't remember that
this contract is right now.
It could have been way less. I don't want to get this wrong, because it will say it's $50 million. I don't know. But like,
no, it was crazy high.
I think I remember some like astronomical number that they had paid for their marketing deal and everything that had leaked.
Like 769. It was like something
769. No, it can't be that much. That's that's more than they spent for Insomniac. That's like 3 Insomniacs.
No, but yes, but if it brings them $1 billion just in day one revenue sales.
Well, that's how much the game made in total, right? Not PlayStation.
Well,
no, that was just PlayStation.
No,
but PlayStation made $1 billion.
I thought it was like $3 billion overall and $1 billion just on PlayStation in the first week.
For sales or for revenue?
I thought it was just like $1 billion in the first like 3 days or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's overall. I wasn't just PlayStation. Yeah. No,
that was like Xbox, PlayStation, PC, every platform together.
Yeah.
I thought I took it as it was just PlayStation.
No, they were talking about how much money it made. It like broke records and stuff as a whole, not just one platform. And that was like, so you look at, okay, what piece of the pie, which PlayStation has an enormous piece of the Call of Duty pie, probably over half, right? I don't know exactly how much, but
I would say probably closer to 70%.
Probably, right? So they have an enormous majority share of PlayStation players, right? So let's say it sold $1 billion, right? Let's say that 70% of that would be PlayStation sales. So that's 700 million. And then PlayStation gets 30% of that, right? So you're talking about 210 million, right? That's just rough math really quick, right?
Yeah.
So, Calarie says total sales were 800 million in 3 days, and I think over the week you could hit a
maybe it was like
billion.
$1 billion in 5 days or something.
Yeah,
like
it was the fastest selling. It was like a billion in 5 days.
Yeah.
That definitely was not just PlayStation. That'd be absolutely insane. But maybe by now, who knows? Maybe by now it has. So 30% of 60 of that went to Sony. Yeah. So if Calarie is saying that 60%, then you look at in the first 3 days, 60% of 800 is 480 million, I think,
Mhm.
right? And then 30% of that would be you're looking at 48 times 3, so that's a little under 150 mil, right? That's a lot. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. And for 3 days, you know.
But
But
something that you didn't even have to spend a dime to produce.
no, but you did have to spend a lot for the marketing rights.
True.
You know, but it makes them a lot of money, and I think the deal that they had was pretty damn astronomical. Question is, how much subscribers would they get if it hit PlayStation Plus? Because that's recurring revenue also,
Mhm.
right? You're talking about their extra tier is like $15 a month. Plus also you get all the microtransactions and all that kind of stuff as well. And that $15 goes directly to Sony also. Right? So what if it cost them the same amount as their marketing deal to put it in PlayStation Plus? I mean, I would think that would be a wise move.
Yeah.
Personally. However, if you put Call of Duty in there and you're not putting your own damn games in there, I think it looks pretty bad, you know, for PlayStation. And Calarie made a good point earlier in the chat, because if you put Call of Duty in there, like PlayStation gamers right now aren't as invested into their subscription service. So, you know, there's like 3 to 5 million roughly around there PS Plus Extra tier, which that's the tiers that get the amount of subscribers that actually get games, right? So if they get that, you're gonna have still not everybody's gonna do it at once, right? Especially if people look around and compare Game Pass to PS Plus, because Xbox by that point will have all those games dropping besides just Call of Duty. You know what I mean? You'll have Starfield, you'll have Diablo, right? You'll have what's in it? Forza Motorsport. You'll have Redfall, and then by that point, because we're talking about the next COD, that's 2 years away, right? So we're talking about whatever's. I mean, gear. I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows what's 2 years on the horizon? There's Xbox got like 40 projects, so that's why I think this is about them not wanting to be pushed forward more into cloud gaming. They're the enemy of innovation right now within the gaming marketplace. And that's the next thing I want to talk about is the market participant that had their response to the CMA made public today. That was pretty interesting. And they just basically said, yeah, blocking this deal basically would cost consumers, would hurt competition. If you allow it to go through, it'll help competition. And it's got to be a big publisher, right, to be even in the conversation of a market participant with this thing. You know, maybe one of the bigger publishers out there. And it seems like whoever it is really wants this. And I found it interesting that that's the only one of these responses so far by big publishers made public by the CMA. Is there anything to that? Because why not all the responses? Why just this one? Or is that just the only one that got shared around?
Well, we got the leaked ones from Brazil when they were.
Yeah, Brazil's different than the CMA though, right? Like CMA has been all quiet, hush hush, right? So my conspiracy theorist, fun speculation mind went to the fact that, okay, you saw this other stock market deal that Xbox made or Microsoft made today with a London stock exchange with an investment there, investing in like 4%, which is like $2 billion or something like that. And then they also are going to be
Upgrading
upgrading all their services for the London Stock Exchange, and that affects a lot of businesses. You know what I mean? That's a lot. It's a lot. So you have all of that, right? Plus, EU recently came out the other day and they're like, well, we didn't say that Microsoft didn't necessarily say that 100% about them backtracking on Bethesda games, right? So the EU kind of took a little bit of a step in a response to a website asking questions. Now the CMA publishes this response, makes it public, right? So what if CMA is like, well, shit, we actually took a look and all these responses from all the people in the market besides Sony are like saying they should be allowed to do this. And so they make public the one that makes the best case, potentially. I don't know. I don't know why all of them aren't public, right? I don't know why all of them aren't public, just this one. And unless they are, and just for some reason nobody knows, but this one's made the rounds. It was like new news today. And that glowing praise of why this goes through maybe is setting the not setting the expectation, but setting the reasoning why they may actually end up allowing this at the CMA. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that too conspiracy theorist or
no?
Reading too
There's
much
a
into it?
lot of breadcrumbs there that makes sense. So it definitely seems like I'm being probably more than hopeful, but it seems like that definitely is the route that they're going. Like they're sharing this, and I have a feeling it's a prominent publisher. Originally, the thoughts were that it would be Epic, but Sweeney got on Twitter and was like, "Nope, we haven't said anything publicly or privately, blah blah blah," and it's kind of complicated. Like there's things we're for, and then there's things we're against, and it's complicated. So he basically said his 2 cents because he's kind of caught in the middle because he's got a ton of investment from Tencent, he's got a little bit of investment from Sony, and he has a partner with Microsoft against Apple and Google to some extent. So he's not going to really burn any bridges because he likes money, just like most businesses do. But I'm wondering if it's not Zelnick from Take Two, because that's a big publisher and they have a lot of roots thanks to Rockstar in the EU area. So it definitely could be them, or the dark horse, which this would be the main reason why they would probably broadcast it more so than them getting that 10-year deal. I think would be Nintendo. What better way than the guy that's complaining, his next door neighbor is saying, "Oh, that guy's crazy, this is why this should go through." I mean, yeah, we got a 10-year deal, but this doesn't affect us. Like it doesn't make sense to block this. So it gives you an example of two companies that are, I wouldn't say necessarily neck and neck, but to my understanding, I think the Switch just edged out the PS4 for its lifespan, with shorter lifespan than the PS4 at this point in its history. I think it sold more units. So they are definitely, I mean, they may not be a high performance console, but they are definitely a console in this space. So they deserve to have their voice highlighted if they're saying, "Hey, let this deal go through." So
Yeah, they're not high performance or high demand.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I think they're wording because they can't say high demand because they know that belongs to Nintendo and not Sony. And if they go high performance, well, I mean that's left with PC.
It's ridiculous to
and
try and make
Xbox.
these fake arbitrary rules for like what makes somebody in the gaming market to help better their case. This is another reason why I think the case is shallow. Now, Microsoft has a winning case if they're willing to take it that far. That's the question. Like, are they willing to take it all the way? Which could, as Pong said, like go for years, right? And it depends on what happens along the way. I think it depends a lot on what happens with the CMA and the EU in the meantime. So that's why I'm kind of bringing up that discussion. You know what I mean? But because I think that puts pressure also on the FTC as well, being the only ones at that point that are like trying to block this and makes their case even worse. And with the concessions at that point, do they bow down and accept some of those concessions? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we know that why the FTC's not doing it, just because there's this political stuff, but
yeah,
like,
but they lose all the time with this stuff, right? I mean, they do. They lose all the time. They only times they win is when the companies usually just
says
throw in the
fuck it, we're
towel,
not-
say it's not worth it. Right. Like I think Meta even I don't know with Meta if they could have won with that other thing, the $400 million deal or not, but like for them it's like, okay, fuck it. Like we'll just it's not worth it for the fight on this thing. You know, but this is different from Microsoft. Now, I've seen some speculation come out from some market companies that are trying to say like, well, it might be in their best interest to move on because of the climate out there right now, the economy, everything going on. Other competitors aren't as investing as high anymore, so they may find it worthwhile more to take that $67 billion that they'd have left and invest it in other things within the company as opposed to go this route. So I've seen a little bit of that sentiment. I think that was from Seeking Alpha, actually. And so who knows? I think that there's a lot of things in play. There's a shareholder meeting from Microsoft, I think. Is it like this week?
Yeah.
I think it's this week, right? So I think we'll know more after that meeting, whether they take it the distance or if they're just going to say, screw it, and we'll throw in the towel. But if they do take it the distance, they have a winning case. It just depends on if they want to have that money tied up for that long, potentially. And the one thing also, like, let's say the EU and the CMA do approve it. FTC not filing an injunction, at that point, if Microsoft knows they have a winning case, nothing is there potentially blocking them from closing the deal, right? So at that point, do they just close it and just deal with them in court later on? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions
Well,
to be had here.
Yeah, there is that what I believe that law that once it passed, I think Pong was mentioning that law that does go through, where it speeds up the process where Microsoft actually can go take them to court instead of waiting through the long
That's
process.
if there's a Supreme Court hearing basically on another FTC case, and if they lose that, it would potentially speed up the process.
So I believe if that does go through and happens, and let's say, and there now Microsoft has the opportunity, and the EU CMA does approve it, I think they'll just go ahead and go through this.
Do you know when that Supreme Court hearing is, though?
I think it's supposed to start in some point in January, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's going to be like before, because I think
it's about the process, the
March,
speed of the process.
Is the EU and CMA around March-ish of
next
year?
Their initial, I think, is January, and they should have at least a decision no later than March. But I think they're both targeting January as well.
Okay.
So if the things align accordingly, the CMA and EU should say before the end of January, and then I think that other case gets heard or is going into the Supreme Court by the end of January. So the CMA and EU give a thumbs up. All honesty, I think Microsoft completes the deal, makes the purchase, and then makes the filing in court that they're not getting a just process or due process, and then that goes to a federal court at that point.
Yeah. So Shane was saying that the ruling for that other case is due in June. So if that, I mean, but still, I mean, regardless, right? I mean, you're only talking about 6 more months. So maybe that's why Microsoft said into fiscal year 2023. Maybe they knew about that case all along, was like, well, that gets fucked. We're just going to be able to do this. Who knows exactly? I don't think this is a done deal. I've come down on my like 99%, obviously. I've been between 70 and 80 right now, but like a lot of interesting things happening still, even after the FTC ruling, that doesn't makes it, I think, more feasible. Now, Satya has still come out strong recently on this. Brad Smith has as well. So we'll see if their tune changes after the shareholders meeting. PlayStation's not going to accept anything, obviously, at this point, right?
I mean, they know they can keep making Microsoft spend money fighting this. So
yeah, well, they can, but like if the EU and the CMA, or here's another potential scenario: the EU and the CMA both approve this, which I don't think the shareholders would give up on this just yet. Too much money.
Yeah.
70 billion. I think they would need the EU and CMA to potentially, or at least one of those two, to also attempt to block the deal to just shut this down. I think the shareholder meeting is going to be more of a meeting like, this is what we're doing. This is why we still think it's going to go through.
Yes.
All this kind of stuff, right? This is why it's in all of your best interest, and they're trying to explain the process and put reassurances in the shareholders, right? I think that's what the meeting's going to be. I think it's going to be like a reassurance meeting, right? Now,
Well, I
Go
was
ahead,
going to say, we could just ask Fuzzy.
yeah, we'll ask Fuzzy everything that they have. So after that meeting, I feel like they're going to keep fighting this. And here's the other scenario I wanted to get at. Let's say the EU and the CMA do just let this pass, potentially with some concessions or whatever, right? Let's say that happens, okay? Then at that point, I feel like Sony would know that Microsoft's just going to take this to the distance and win. At that point, do they go ahead and take what concessions they can get as opposed to risk not getting any? Because if they do take this to the distance all the way through, then they get nothing.
Yeah.
They get no reassurances. They get no guarantees. They get no concessions. Nothing, right? And if the EU and the CMA, I think this is everything here is hinging on those two. And their processes are different, right? The FTC is taking this the legal route because that's their battle. That's the way they do things, right? I don't think the EU and the CMA do things the exact same way because there's no like recourse in that kind of process 100%. I think they do things more of like they go and they rule and maybe they put more actual thought into this so they don't just let it willy-nilly go to court. You know, I don't know what's going to happen, but if those two approve it, I think that puts a lot of pressure on Sony. I think it puts a lot of pressure on the FTC, and all of these things we just heard about that would be potentially used in court that the FTC ignored can be used also with the EU and the CMA, right? And also,
I kind of expect the EU to pass it. I'm iffy on the CMA. I think the CMA follows the same lies as the FTC.
You think so? So what did you make of that thing that they published today? You think it's just they just made it public because they have to, or like?
I mean, the CMA is the one that made it public, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on Twitter talking all kinds of emoji bullshit anyway. So why the fuck they care? They just put shit out.
Well, it came out of their like the whole website they have for everything, so it's like official, but like the market participant is very glowing about this deal passing, right? So if they're taking the entire industry at face value here instead of just one,
the reason I say the CMA I don't think is going to pass it is because like I feel like they kind of follow the more Democratic Party lines. Just I don't know. I feel like the UK's kind of leans more that way.
Yeah.
Whereas the EU's so more open about it.
Right. So I'm just real curious what's going to happen here. It's getting interesting. Besides that, let's move on from that discussion. I think it's going to be a week to week thing.
It's and it's like we can go round and round. And
it changes every damn day.
Exactly. Because last week we didn't think any of this was going to fucking happen. So who knows what next week's going to bring? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get an update.
I'll say this much: the share price went from 75 back to 77, so it's back almost before the whole bad news from the FTC. So that might mean if Microsoft does walk away, maybe Activision or at least investors believe that they'll survive, but I don't know. I just get this gut feeling that if Microsoft was to ever walk away, Activision will go the way of the Acclaim or other big publishers that disappeared in the short period of time. Not for the same reasons, obviously, but I think Activision goes away completely if this deal falls apart.
I see Calarie says that no, if they give concessions to CMA or EU, those concessions are for each market, I believe. So Sony can just hang on to those concessions and hope the FTC will win. Well, I think like Microsoft's probably offering the same concessions in every market, right? So I get what you're saying, but my point is that if they're making those concessions as an offer, I think it helps their chances
I think
in the
Microsoft's
EU.
probably looking at it as globally concessions just to get it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that EU and the CMA would potentially look at those, and they're going to make their rulings based on all the information, and hopefully they look at those and be like, yeah, this makes sense. And Sony, now what are you doing, right? And pass it in those. And my point is that if those concessions help their case in the EU and the CMA, and that actually causes them to pass, I think that puts more pressure on Sony, right? Because at that point, they know that Microsoft would be willing to take it the distance. And if they know that Microsoft is willing to take it the distance, I believe that Sony knows they don't have a winning case, period, point blank. I mean, they can't honestly look at that complaint and challenge and honestly think that there's any fucking right mind, like Supreme Court, that would actually like move that in favor in the favor of the FTC. Like, there's no way in hell. Like, it's built on a house of flimsy ass cards, of made up bullshit and half truths and less than half truths. I mean, just outright lies also, and twisted information. And Microsoft's lawyers will just slaughter this thing. So if the EU and CMA play the same game that the FTC has, then I think at that point that puts more pressure on Microsoft and their investment and their money, right? So we'll see. I mean, who knows exactly, like I said, what's going to play out. Is everybody frozen on my screen? Or is that just Jasper's frozen? Okay.
I think
just Jasper.
Okay.
Jasper's frozen.
He's got a nice smile on his face though. Yeah. Shout out to Jasper. I think he lost connection. He's been having some internet issues the last few weeks.
Yeah, because I was just, the whole FTC and we lost him. Okay, he's gone. The whole FTC and the EU and CMA, we just, everything that we're just speculating on what's going to happen. So we'll just have to just sit back, relax, and see what happens in the next couple weeks. And after this investor meeting, we'll find out if they decide. I know what you said, because I think that's what they're going to do. They're like, this is our plan. But if they, because I mean, there's so many people that have invested. Was it Warren Buffett that invested into the ABK deal?
Mm-hmm.
And he does not invest in losing deals. So it's like, and fucking government is all corrupt. There's nothing positive that. So there's something. Like, I was on board with you, Fuzzy, thinking possibly this was done so they can get the stock prices lower, so they can buy in. People that missed out can get in. But that could still remain to see. That might happen. But what's the next topic?
Next topic.
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh yeah, good. Next topic.
let's talk about the Game Awards a little bit, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we did have our Friday show, so we got to kind of talk a little bit about this, but I do want to dive back in, and because this conversation's still been ongoing, and it kind of got reignited today. I hopped into space that Umbra had earlier, and he had a great big space earlier where he had a lot of people show up. But there's been some talk about like Microsoft's marketing again, right? And what are they doing now? For whatever reason, the Microsoft decided to not be at the Game Awards in any meaningful way, right? They sponsored it. They had sizzle trailers, right? Games that were even there that are in Game Pass didn't even have the Game Pass marketing on them. So that leads to the whole like conspiracy of them holding back everything, right? However, everybody also thought Sony wouldn't be there, and some people are saying Sony still wasn't there, right? I say that's BS, right? Sony was there in spades, all the awards, obviously. Plus, also they had Death Stranding 2. They had another exclusive game announcement with Wayfinder as well. So I think there's
DLC for Horizon.
Yeah, they had the Horizon VR game as well.
There's a lot of
stuff.
PlayStation stuff was there.
A lot of PlayStation stuff was there. So PlayStation we give PlayStation shit all the time for not being at E3 and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't let Microsoft off the hook for not being at the biggest game show of the year. And I feel what the conversation was is, does Microsoft's marketing, is it need to change, right? Like what is going on? I'm not just talking about specifically the Game Awards, guys, in the chat. I'm talking about overall their decision making with the marketing teams there. Maybe they were hamstrung. I don't know. I don't think there's any reason that's a good enough reason not to be at the biggest game show of the year. So, and also we have the E3 thing where they kept it 12 months. We haven't had any updates on any of these other games ever since that 2019 reveal of those big five. Those have been radio silent. We've had since then, we had a good E3 last year. But yeah, it's been kind of awkward this past year, period. Maybe because of ABK. Maybe that's the reason. That's what a lot of people think. But that didn't stop Sony, So, Sony didn't have a big showcase. I think we know why now. I think that was the Game Awards, and I also think that they had a lot of other things this year. They had State of Plays, several of them, the showcase things. They had that recent State of Play was like 40 minutes long, whatever. But remember, we gave that a hell of a rating. We said that was an awesome show, right? A fantastic show. So overall, I think that Microsoft's marketing needs some help to get on par with the industry.
They've needed help for fucking decades, bro. That's the one thing that they suck. Being a fan since the beginning, the conception of Xbox, I can say that marketing outside of Peter Moore running through 360, marketing after the Xbox One generation, there was no marketing. There was hardly anything, and they just started to ramp up in their marketing, but it's not hitting strides as well as Sony does, per se, because the one thing that always, when Sony does their marketing, you always see their commercials at places that are very well just strategically designed to like really target their audience. They're usually at like the NBA Finals. I think last year, they're just at certain places where most eyes are at, and Microsoft doesn't. They just do they do their commercials on broad spectrums, and it just doesn't feel like I know that they revamped 2 WNBA women's courts, so when games are played, you see the sponsored by Xbox logo everywhere, but they need to play catch up right now from the years of lacking. I mean, games that have come out like Halo wasn't very. I mean, I didn't see a lot of commercials on anywhere when Halo came out last year. I did not see outside of like Deathloop being announced for PlayStation. I've seen ads for that, but not once did I see ads for Deathloop now on Game Pass. I didn't see that anywhere other than what was on my Xbox screen and Twitter. It's like you need to expand outside of that. You need to expand to just a normal market and be places where people are, like that. There's certain like Monday Night Football games, or that one basketball game that has the teams that are, I know, let's say it's a Lakers and the New York the Knicksers. Well, that's a game that
the Knicksers.
The
Knicks
New York
from Philly.
the Knicks, whatever.
The Knicksers. That's fucking great, man.
Knickerbocker. Now I was thinking I had Knickerbocker from that's the place.
Yeah, New York Knickerbockers. Yeah, that's the
So
old school.
that there's certain things that they could do to get that fucking marketing, and they do a better job at it. And it's just like I know the fuck Aaron Greenberg, he's doing a better job.
I mean, he can only say so much though.
But he needs to get the people on the radio. He needs people on the fucking TVs. Emphasize that you have that accessibility to for all people that are handicapped. They need to show that there's more more available for people to the accessibility is there. There's more for just games, and they just need to do a better job at fucking marketing. I don't know. If you turn on your TV, what are you seeing? I'm seeing PlayStation commercial for Callisto Protocol. I'm seeing a PlayStation commercial for fucking Hogwarts Legacy. I'm seeing those. I'm not seeing anything for fucking Xbox. And Callisto just came out, but Hogwarts, that's not until next year.
Has PlayStation marketing now.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing those commercials. That's used,
but if it has PlayStation marketing, Xbox can't just put it on TV.
No, but I'm saying Redfall. They have their own games that they could be marketing. There's shit to be marketed, but they're not marketing.
That's not entirely true, but it is a good bit convoluted. Like, as someone that used to do marketing for the company I used to work for, I'll give you some key differences of where PlayStation stands versus Xbox. The biggest thing is Xbox is internal, PlayStation is external. They're hiring the best studios or best advertising departments out there in the business. It's better to go outside. You'll get a better result, but you'll pay more for it. And I think Sony has learned over the years it's
I would
better
say you
to go
see
outside.
Xbox on a lot of food though. Like you always see Xbox on like Pringles and Oreo cookies.
Yeah, but
and all
nobody
that
opens
shit.
up a bag of Doritos like, I need to buy a fucking Xbox.
No,
I got this free code in my Doritos. I need an Xbox to use with it. I mean, it's like...
No, but see, there's another difference in marketing or advertising where Xbox is advertising a lot more than you guys think, and it comes down to they don't do a thing, and I think the term is called remarketing. When you remarket, you're constantly showing what you know to be your customer base as well as new customers, the ads. When you don't remarket, like Xbox looks at certain ID or in apps like Twitter, apps like YouTube, apps like Hulu, they look at your habits and how long you watch certain advertising spots and things like that. Microsoft is not paying the extra dollars, especially on YouTube. If it is deemed that you're favorable to Xbox, they're not going to market anything to you. You won't see the Game Pass ads. You won't see the upcoming ads for a lot of the games that are going to be on the platform, whether it be first party or third party. They're out there, but the only way to see them once you're deemed an Xbox fan or favorable to Xbox is to log out. If you log out of your account or create an account that has no affiliation with gaming, or maybe it has some affiliation with gaming but nothing Xbox related, you'll see a ton more ads. Like I was posting about on Twitter, because I have 3 Twitter accounts, one for gaming, one for tech stuff, and then one is my old personal one, which doesn't have an affiliation with gaming or anything like that. That account sees like every, I would say, 3rd to 5th Twitter post is a Game Pass ad. But I don't see that on my Fuzzy Belvedere account that's already deemed an Xbox fan. So I might see 1 out of every 12 or 20 posts.
Why the fuck am I getting offered State Farm and all that bullshit on Twitter?
I get what you're saying, Fuzzy, but I'm not necessarily talking about that kind of marketing. But because, all right, yeah, I get that kind of marketing. Xbox actually probably does more with that kind of marketing than anybody else. I mean, they're on, like we said, all the food things. They have to deal with the fast food places also. We're going to win a free Xbox, like a Taco Bell, all that stuff. They have tons of deals. They have big commercials at at sporting events. They have advertising at the sporting events. They have YouTube ads. They have TikTok ads. They got ads everywhere, right? But so
But
does
they're
like
not doing the stuff at like the stadiums and things like that.
but so does like
and
Pepsi, right? Pepsi's number 2 to Coke, right? Like people see Pepsi, people know it exists. Everybody knows Xbox exists, right?
Yeah.
So that's that kind of advertising. It lets you know that, hey, this is a big brand and it exists and it's relevant, it's important, and we let you know we're huge, right? And it's like on people's minds that, hey, Xbox is a thing. It doesn't necessarily make you want it more, right? And
I think part of that is when you have the internal group, their view on what will appeal to customers is a lot narrower than that third party advertising group that you'll hire that's going to really look at the market and look at what's already out there and try to outdo what's out there.
Right.
So, and it's not that I don't want to take a knock at their internal advertising guys, but
it is their knock. We need to we need to take a knock at
But
their
to be
internal
honest,
advertising.
like though, I don't like everything I watch on TV. Like I pay for the stuff that doesn't have the ad tiers, so like I don't get ads on TV, so I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you if I'm getting trailers or
Right.
not.
Yeah,
But,
and that's
like-
not even the kind of market I'm talking about. Like all these game shows or events that they could be doing that they're
Yeah.
not. You know, I'm talking about the stuff that the gamers look forward to watching and
even
taking advantage
the-
of the opportunities you have before you. And the Game Awards is the biggest missed opportunity they've had all year for marketing, right? Just they had sizzle reels and stuff, but nobody watches those and be like, oh, cool. You know, I'm so excited for this. The sizzle reel. People check out on sizzle reels a lot of times, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like even with like physical like ads now, like I think it's kind of, at least for me, it's like subliminal. Like I don't even see that crap. Like I just walk past me. I just don't even notice like physical ads like on the side of the road or whatever anymore.
Yeah,
just 'cause
no,
they're always fucking there.
I think like what they needed to do is just make sure they showcase and come up with a plan. Maybe they have this plan. Jasper's been talking about this a lot, about their like new plan they probably have for marketing, and maybe we're gonna see that. Like we had Insane Cakes, who works with Xbox. He kind of alluded maybe there's something like that could be different that they're going to be doing, but he couldn't say anything, right? So I don't know. But what I'll say is, regardless of any of their ideas they may have for going forward, missing out on an event like that, whatever the reason, it's a bad decision, right? Period.
I mean, you can't go
Point
back,
blank.
so
You can't go back. You can't go back. So what do they need to do going forward? I think they need to have more than just the one big show. And they were at E3. They were at Gamescom. They had a couple things at Gamescom. The Gamescom was pretty good, Gamescom overall, but it wasn't like a huge bunch of first-party stuff for nobody there, right? People really get excited about first-party content, whether it's from PlayStation or exclusives or whatever, right? There's PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, okay? If you have some, let's say, 30-minute streams or whatever where you showcase a couple new trailers every few months, it's gonna go a long way, right?
I mean, those like showcase shows where it's like happens once every 3 months. Those are like the talk of the town if you announce it like a month ahead. Like
Yeah.
everyone's talking about that like leading up to it.
People
on
get
Twitter.
excited,
Like,
you get hyped because you know going into it there's gonna be new trailers. People tune in, you get millions of views on those things, right? You drop a random trailer on YouTube, it may or may not hit. They've done that a lot this past year too, right? There's a random Redfall trailer drop. They didn't even like hardly promote it, right? It was a badass trailer. Like PlayStation would have had a
well, you're
whole
not
state
gonna
of
have a whole 30-minute show for.
No,
a
I
minute
know,
trailer.
but if you could have had like a couple things there, or you could have like propped up, hey, Redfall breakdown deep dive show with new trailer or whatever, you know, you could have done more things like that. They had like one thing like that with Redfall
Yeah,
that was
at
really
QuakeCon.
cool, but they didn't have a new trailer at that.
Wait, QuakeCon, they showed a lot of stuff. They showed like kind of more in-depth stuff. Like
Yeah,
the
they had
map
more
is,
in
like, this
depth.
is-
They
yeah.
had more in depth stuff, but like I'm getting at that was kind of a under the radar thing. We
Yeah.
streamed it, but it wasn't like people being like this.
Well, no
it's-
one knows what the fuck QuakeCon is, so
right.
You know.
So they need to take advantage of the opportunities they have, and if they aren't going to take advantage of the biggest opportunities, they need to have plan Bs, right? At least to have these situations, because they're gonna have something. They got to, right? Because we got Redfall, Starfield, and Forza coming out, supposed to be in the next six months or so.
Mhm.
So there's got to be a show because there's no other show till E3. So whatever happens, there's got to happen before then. But are they going to do a show? Are they just going to do little things and not prop them up too much? Because if that's the case, that was
that's
a mistake.
Like, look at what Need for Speed came out. Like, they didn't even really talk about that till like 2 months before it came out. So like, I'm saying, I think that's kind of what.
Yeah, but that was kind of like a supposed surprise thing. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the case. But Xbox announced some of these games like 3 years ago, and haven't said anything about them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
The thing that's weird for me is that if you've already announced it for like the previous E3, like what's coming in the next 12 months, to me, especially if you're trying to keep a low profile because of the whole ABK deal and appear, more meager or whatever, it would have made perfect sense to show the three main ones that are on the to-do list here between now and 6 months.
I mean, they all know they exist, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't like put them back in the box.
Exactly.
Oh, we stopped making these games. They're not going to be at the show. It's not how it works.
I mean, you can put it back in the box.
Well, you can, but they're supposed to release. If that happened, oh my god, you know what I mean?
But it would have made so much more sense, at least as a worst case scenario. Show that maybe even the Minecraft, not Dungeons,
Legends.
The Minecraft Legends. At least show those, because those are known quantities that are already out there, that if it's going to be an issue for the CMA or the EU or the FTC, they already know about it, or it's at least already
Minecraft wasn't even on their list. It was just Starfield and Redfall. Like, it was just Bethesda games because it's AAA, so they don't consider Minecraft AAA. Which
then,
I don't think it is,
if you know that those are going to be targeted, then highlight Forza and Minecraft at least. At least show something. Don't like just sit there. Like, yes, I understand they didn't really have many games or any real nominations because Pentiment missed the cutoff or whatever. But if you're not going to really show up with your first party stuff, at least make mention. Oh yeah, as Dust Falls, when it won that award, especially if you're the studio or the theater and the commercial sponsor, it should have been like a sizzle reel of all the games that are in Game Pass that are nominated that you can play today, type of thing. Something along those lines should have been at the bare minimum.
Was the only nominated one, wasn't it?
It was nominated, and there was I forget, there was another one. Wait, was Vampire Survivor nominated or no?
Yeah, but that's
I guess
that's
you could.
That's in Game Pass,
do it
but
as
like
in like these are the nominated games you can play on Game Pass now. Like, you could do something like that, even if it's not your own
that's what
stuff.
they did.
Yeah,
they
did it. They did a sizzle reel for that also.
Yeah. Twitter, they said, Game Pass games are.
Yeah, it's great that they put it out on Twitter, but that should have been one of the commercials instead of this whole, what is it, good luck, have fun slogan.
I don't like these damn sizzle reel type trailers that show a bunch of games anyway. People just tune them out. The people don't pay attention. It doesn't get the excitement.
You get 3 seconds of being like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
it's
like it brings me no excitement for any of those games. Now, I understand doing that in addition to all the other stuff that they should have, but like they should have a trailer for Redfall, a trailer for Starfield, a trailer for Forza Motorsport. You could have a release date for Redfall. You know what I mean? Like, that would have brought excitement, even though not as much as announcing a new game. I would even go as far as announcing new games, but like apparently they don't want to because of the FTC thing. But there's no reason not to do the others, right? Unless you were planning on your own show and they want to save those for their show. But in that case, in my opinion, you should have put other stuff at your own show, because this was the Game Awards where you can have a lot more people that don't have Xboxes watching. So that's another marketing aspect. You got at that event is the biggest event of the year where you have Nintendo players, you have PlayStation players, you have PC players, people that don't care about Xbox ecosystem.
I think they looked out this year though, because no one's talking about the games of the Game Awards. They're all talking about the dumbass kid at the end. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah. So, but maybe hopefully they're going to have bigger deep dives and really promote something. An XO 23 would be a really big deal if they did something like that. And they really brought some attention to it, did some deep dives, and also had a couple of new trailers and stuff. They could do quite a bit of stuff. I feel like this year was a letdown marketing wise from Xbox, and I don't know whatever the reason why it was, because there was really like no big game announcements on the horizon this year at all. All this year we got no updates on any of the 3-year-old games this year at all. We got not much.
I kind of don't think we'll have an XO. Like, if we were gonna have an XO, like, it's got to be like February or March, because they would have to start marketing that so you could get tickets to wherever it's going to be held at, unless if they're just doing a digital XO.
We'll probably do a digital XO like they've done.
Well, the last XO was physical, wasn't it? It was in
Yeah.
It was at the
Ireland
Microsoft. Was it Ireland?
or London?
Yeah, I don't
thought
know.
they did one in Brazil or Mexico or something.
Yeah, the XO 19 was in Mexico, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think they might just do like a digital show, and just have it like in kind of like a, what was that? Was it after I think it was after the E3 where they sat down personally, have something like that, like in the studio, like back home.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's what they're going to do for their like Redfall, Starfield when it gets like a month away. Like they'll have that for each individual game, like they did for Age of Empires a couple months ago, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think this will be like an all-out event this early. I think they know they need to kind of show something and have like an event to like discuss. I think they're just going to discuss what's coming out from last year's E3, give us some dates, maybe 2 to 3 new games, but I don't think it will be like stellar first party, possibly third party. They're going to announce new, because if the FTC was if the whole not being at the Game Awards was due to lawyers saying no, because the whole FTC, CMA, EU regulators, I don't see them announcing anything new right now. Now, biggest question is, what are they going to do at E3 if this doesn't get approved? Let's say EU and the CMA say that, hey, everything's fine, but the FTC has not passed it, and they're still waiting till August. I really hope they don't hold out.
Yeah.
I don't think you can hold out at that point, because
I
that
know,
point,
I
if
know.
you're not going to show the next 12 months, that is going to
We'll show 3 months up to our court case, and we're out.
It will be a very bad look if they hold out. It will be more detrimental to Xbox if they hold out at E3 than showing games, because they just want to try to get this deal done. It's like you're
slicing your nose to spite your face, kind of saying.
Well, let's talk about E3 next year a little bit, right? Because
they said they're going physical with that again, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and this is going to be the biggest E3 in a long time. I mean, this is going to be huge because you're going to have a lot of people that maybe are not usually there. Also, I feel like this would be an in-person event. Also, with the I forget the name of the group that's handling it, but the same ones that do the PAX East and all those events, right? They're the ones handling it. And I feel like being the first physical, I think a lot of these companies are going to go big at this because they want that crowd reaction and everything. You know what I mean? And E3, I think, will be pretty huge for Microsoft. And here's why. Supposedly, all 3 of those big games were supposed to come out before this E3 next year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, we're going to get some really cool shit at E3 because they can't just rely on Starfield and Redfall and Forza Motorsport.
Whatever's the next 12 months.
So what is that going to be though? Like, what can they start marketing? Like, is it Avowed?
Would assume would be in the next 12 months. Hellblade would probably be in the next 12 months.
Would you think that they're going to do 12 months from here on out? Or did they just do the 12 months just for the...
Honestly, I hope... Personally, I know some people want them to. Personally, I hope they don't stick to that. I think you can have most of your show around that, but I think one or two things far out is completely fine with me, because that gets me excited for not just what's around the corner, but like what's in the future. I love seeing that shit. Right now, I don't like seeing it and not hearing any updates about it for 3 fucking years. Right? I don't like that, or 2.5 at this point, whatever.
I think if they're seeing like increased profits and just increased growth, Xbox may attribute that to the 12-month marketing. So we may see more of this. That's just
Now, if they do 12 months and then
One more thing.
and then like do here's our 12 months, what's coming out with the next 12 months. Now for here's the next things coming out for the next 6 months after that. So that gives you the end of 2023.
I don't even think you have to do
Or
6 months. Like I understand what you're all saying. Like give the 12 months and then just have like maybe the last 10 minutes is here's what to look forward to in the future of Xbox. Like I would,
Yeah.
that's really what I want. But I don't think there's a both option.
Yeah, I'm on board for that same deal, but I kind of agree with you, Jasper. I don't know if they're willing to extend themselves on that. Like it would make more sense to end the show. Oh, and by the way, one more thing, and then it'll be like, project name, whatever,
Gear
maybe
6,
Jez or somebody already rumored,
2025 or
cross it
whatever.
out, give it a
Yeah.
real name, and then put, coming, put like a possibly coming in like 3 years from that date. So for E3 for 2023, this might be coming in 2026 or something to that effect. Like
Yeah.
show one of those projects, give it a real name, and kind of lure people that way. I would love to see that type of approach, and it could be just one of them, just one of those project titles. Stick to your 12-month deal, like you said, because they're probably going to see that growth number, and the analytics will show that this is probably a better received program. But at least give us that one more thing. Do that, Tim
Yeah.
Cook, Apple moment, or
The
or Steve
Wolverine,
Jobs
you know what I
Apple
mean?
moment.
The Wolverine that PlayStation had, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
moments like that are pretty damn, I think, important. Like how do people react when Todd Howard showed Starfield for the first time, announced it? It's like, what? Damn, that's years away. People get excited for the future stuff. Now, here's the thing: Starfield, we've been decently kept up to date with ever since they announced that game. Like every year, it seems like there's at least some kind of news or trailer or information or interview or whatever. But radio silence on Fable, radio silence on Perfect Dark, radio silence on Avowed,
But
radio silence on Contraband. I'll keep going. Radio silence on.
Yeah, I know.
I
I'm
mean,
just saying, like, even if you do like the thing that's like Wolverine, for example, where it's like years away, like all you see is people thinking that's coming out like in fucking 5
yeah,
months.
but those
and
those are stupid people.
Yeah, and then they shit on something like fucking Sony's ass. They can't even get Wolverine out in 5 months.
Yeah,
Like,
but
no one fucking thought that was coming out in 5 months.
But every E3 or not E3, every showcase Sony has, they'll tune in, hoping they get to see the next Wolverine trailer or get an announcement or a release date, right?
I'm just saying, like when you do it as farther ahead, you get more negative press over a longer time. Just
if you don't update people at a reasonable rate, right?
It also depends on the platform, because we saw Days Gone way early, like at least 3 years out. We saw Ghost of Tsushima at least 3, I think even 4 years out. And there wasn't that range of complaints. It was like you saw it at that like dream flute, E3, kind of showing that they had.
Yeah.
And then you didn't see much of it for like 3 or 4 years. I think like the year before Days Gone, you saw more in-depth stuff. But prior to that, you didn't really see much of Ghost of Tsushima. Like I think Ghost of Tsushima was like one of those where you saw it 4 years in advance, and then you didn't see anything until like 6 months out or something like that, if I remember right. Because that was the one I was mostly looking forward to, and I'm like, well, what happened? Is this going to be like that Dungeon and Dragon thing where it was like I forget what they called that one, where the dragon was breathing fire and the guy was holding the shield when the PS4 first came out? That game never came into existence, or maybe
you can avoid stuff like that. Like even with like what Ubisoft is dealing with, like Beyond Good and Evil, like they showed that game and it's like, where the fuck is it? Like you can avoid all
early
that
in
stuff.
development.
Yeah, you can avoid all that stuff if you just limit yourself to 12-month windows. Like,
True.
it sucks that we won't know the future like ahead, but it saves Microsoft a shit ton of like money and
Negative
press
press.
if they have to cancel it or delay it.
Right.
True. But
I mean,
man.
I mean that's the thing. That's like they can do like I would like to see a within 2 year window. Personally, I'd rather see that. Give us gameplay of what's coming out within the year, and then then the year after, it's just CGI trailers, announcement trailers, things like that. I don't care for that. I'd rather see, oh shit, that's gonna come. All right, so that's the second half. So that's a two. So that was a year out. So that won't be ready for another 2-3 year, a year or two. You know, up for a year to 3 years. That game is going to be ready. These games that just showed out is going to be within that within the year or so. So this way, you kind of get people that are looking for towards the future and what's coming out soon, and you kind of uh, meld that two together. Don't give out 3-4 years out because you kind of fucking shooting yourself in the foot. But you damn well know that possibly, uh, you know, Fable could be 2024, late 2024, even Everwild with that year taken off. They said they're going to go for a 2024 window.
That got delayed or whatever.
No, it was
Or
2023,
redone.
then
Yeah.
redone, and then now the new window is 2024. So that's from Rare. Because I went back and looked at all their shit, and I was like, oh, okay. So when they announced that they got redone, they announced a 2024 window. So that possibly would be pushed to 2025. But if you give us a glimpse of that at E3, be like, hey, I know this. Here's the new look at of Everwild, or or Fable, or Perfect Dark,
K3.
something like statically. We had a CGI trailer. Now, if you have some kind of gameplay, this is a work in progress.
And that's another thing. People bitch with CGI trailers. They're like, they only show CGI trailers. These games are ass. They're not showing gameplay. So it's like always
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
The thing with the CGI trailers, that they're early in development if they're not giving you gameplay. So that should be, like when I see a CGI trailer, I know that it's not going to be ready anytime soon. And even with same thing with Hellblade 2. You looked at that, but that got held back because of the mocap. They couldn't do shit for a year, so that game definitely got pushed back. We didn't get nothing 2021 E3 at all. We didn't get shit. And then last year we had the giant I think that troll
Baby.
thing that came out, and that was like, oh shit, that's gameplay. Damn. All right. It wasn't 100. It wasn't fully polished, but it was. This is where the state of the game is. It's like, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, we don't want to have another coincidence, another instance where we get a Halo Infinite, how that was shown off at E3. We don't want that at all.
See, that was another issue of bad marketing. They couldn't have then be like, we need to showcase this in a better way. You know what I mean? It's like, I get what you're saying, Psycho. I mean, it's like they just make weird decisions, on what to show, when to show it. And they have usually killer E3s, right? Usually killer E3s. I love that. I got to praise them for that. But there's also, 11 other months of the year, right? And I would like them to focus a little bit here and there more on some of those other times. We did get the Game Pass deals at Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, and stuff like that, right? But there's a lot of opportunities this year to update us on things, make decisions on what to show, how to show it, and they just, whatever reason, didn't. You know, I think they got to get better with that for sure.
They need to show off whatever the coalition is working on, because I know they're working on that small title first, because that's what
Maybe
they said
that'll be
they
a
were gonna-
2023 thing. Because if it's smaller, I don't know. It's been how long since Gears 5?
Well, I mean, there were rumors that it was either going to be a Star Wars game or a Marvel game, so we don't know what it's going to be. We don't know what is true, or what was, just someone's speculation. So.
Yeah. I want to know what good time means. All in good time. I want short time. All in short time. That's what I want. Shout out to Insane Cakes in the chat. I want in short time. That's what I want. Because it's been too long.
I
It's been
just
too
think
long.
that we may be a little too spoiled now. Like we used to only get like E3. Now we get Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, Xbox makes presence at all those stages now. Like we get more shows from them than we ever have before. And
No, they do. We do, and Sony doesn't show up to any
Yeah,
of
but
them.
these
have their
games
own.
from first party used to release like a lot. Back in the day, like you didn't have to wait like 6-7 years for a game, right? So there was like every year there was like new stuff,
Yeah, but
crazy.
and also the shit you saw at E3, you never knew if it was actually going to come out too. So
yes,
Yeah,
that was
the
no,
thing.
yeah. Because I mean, we're looking at what was it?
Scalebound.
Well, besides Scalebound, what is it? Fucking space, StarCraft Ghost.
yeah,
That game was announced back during the OG
Rainbow
Xbox.
Six, Patriots
Never happened. Patriots never happened. So there's games that have been announced that have just never became. I mean, even Beyond Good and Evil 2 might be one of those games.
Yeah, well,
we might
Ubisoft
not
is on
see in
another
the
level
Cypher.
with their shit, dude. Like Ubisoft. I mean, I gotta say, I gotta give Microsoft shit for Everwild too. I would put Everwild and Beyond Good and Evil 2 and Skull and Bones all in the same category. Like, what the hell is
Agent
going on with those
from
games?
Rockstar.
Yeah, well, Agent they already said is like dead, but yeah, that was one that they never even talked about again. It was crazy. We got a question in the chat. Shane G, thanks for $2 super chat. Hit us with a question. Do we think that Starfield will be nominated for Game of the Year next year? Yes.
yep.
When is another
it has-
question. I mean, it's got a chance to even win. That depends on how good it is.
If it's released before November again,
If it's not a complete buggy mess, like people,
Yeah,
say
it'll
Cyberpunk
be
was.
it'll be nominated for Game of the Year. I'll bet yes on that. I
Now,
feel confident.
Now, if Armored Core 6 comes out,
Armored Core 6 not getting nominated for Game of the Year. I tell you that right now.
ooh, I don't know.
The Armored Core series has
might.
been good, but it's never been like critically like one of the hugest things out there.
I know, but if they do right by this title, that could change.
There's so many games coming out
There's
next year
a
that I
crazy
just
amount. I want to know what's going to win. I think the hottest competition next year is going to be fighting game of the year. That fighting game category next year is going to be fucking bananas. Because you're going to have Street Fighter 6, you're going to have Tekken 8, and also Ed Boon on his Q&A the other day teased that their next game is coming next year. Now, if we look back at time, supposedly their next game is not the next Mortal Kombat. It's something new that we haven't seen from them before. So you got potentially a new thing from Ed Boon. Plus you got.
I see you tweet that like every fucking day.
I know. I'm pumped. Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 in 2023. That's gonna be insane.
Yeah, those
Undisputed.
those won't be nominated for Game of the Year. I
No,
don't
but
think any
that's
fighting-
That's a
gonna be the
fighting
one
game.
I want to know wins. Like out of anything, it's like that's gonna be
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah.
To see which one wins
Yeah,
fighting of the year.
yeah, because we don't know what the Ed Boon game is going to be.
It'll be good.
And
It's Ed
and
Boon.
in Tekken 8, not Tekken 7, but prior Tekkens were great. Street Fighter prior to 5 they were good. So, it's just weird. The last both those games, the last two entries weren't that great.
I think fighting genre is
So-
coming back. They're making big marketing pushes on these too. Like I feel like the investment's higher from the studios on these as well. I feel like they're going bigger with both these franchises. I think it's a resurgence, right? They got killed last generation, both franchises, honestly, and it kind of diminished. I feel like they want to prop them back up. So I have high hopes. I really do.
Because Sony has, what is that? What Evo?
Evo's the fighting championship. kind of
Yeah.
thing,
So then whoever they decide. Now Tekken was always synonymous with PlayStation. Do they go back to Tekken, or do they stick with Street Fighter, or do they do both for Evo?
I think they do all of them for
Yeah,
Evo.
I
It's
think
just
they
a
do all of
matter of the timing of
each game.
Yeah,
the
even Killer
charts or
Instinct was
something.
even at Evo.
Yeah, Evo plays every fighting game pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, the only ones that people really watch though is the Smash Bros. Ones, just because it's all Nintendo nerds. But
Yeah, yeah, it'll be crazy.
And I think
It's gonna be
even Virtual
next year,
Fighter is making a comeback, although I don't know if that's coming to console or if it's just going to be arcade. But supposedly Virtual Fighter. Will
Dude,
be at
if
the
that
next Evo
happened,
as
if
well.
Sega announced a new Virtua Fighter and it came out next year with all those other fighting games, I mean, shit, I don't know. Maybe I'll just only play fighting games next year. No, I'm just kidding. But dude, you got
That'd be insane.
just 2023. My God, because if we really put in perspective all the stuff we already knew about, which was already insane, plus these new games announced at the Game Awards for next year, and also some more release dates. It's like, what the hell's gonna go on at next year's Game Awards? That's gonna be the most competitive Game Awards I think we've seen yet, as far as like actually awards. I don't care about that shit, but it's just fun.
We'll see. PlayStation might pay them off again.
Forza Motorsport will win Racing Game of the Year next year, hands down, probably.
Yeah.
And you'll have Starfield will be nominated for several different things. You'll have Redfall potentially nominated for something. Who knows? You don't think
I
so?
think there's gonna be too much.
I mean, but you say that, but arcane games generally are nominated for stuff, right? Like Dishonored, Prey. They're really
even if
critical
it's just
darlings.
like the voice actors or something, or the environmental design or something like that.
Oh yeah, Chains says Judas coming out next year also. No, but that one wasn't next year guaranteed.
No.
Yeah, I think that one.
I think that's way too early.
Yeah.
I'm calling it already. I think the game that is going to surprise a lot of people for Game of the Year for next year. I mean, Starfield will get nominated, but I think Atomic Heart's going to be that game.
No,
I don't think so.
That's not getting a single nomination.
Yeah, I think it's gonna come and go. I think it looks really cool right now in the trailers and stuff, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens when it actually comes out. I mean, these new studios and stuff that we never heard of, and they come out with these big games that always look crazy amazing on trailers and stuff, get the hype going, and then when they come out, sometimes it's like, if it comes out,
like Dying Light 2 this year, like it came out like. It was like received pretty well, and it was talked about for like a week, and then no one gives a shit.
I mean, maybe it'll be really good.
Well
I don't
received as the first one. Like I don't know what they missed in the formula. I mean, for me, it's fine in comparison to the first one, but yeah, that one I think underperformed. But I think it underperformed even compared to the first one.
I just when it's a studio like this, I don't have that expectation. And trailers don't always tell the story. Like we learned that from Cyberpunk. You know what I mean? Like these trailers don't always tell the story 100% of what these games are going to be like. I think it's going to be a good game, right?
Yeah.
I just don't know if it'll be like that level. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. It looks like it just in the trailers. But there's a lot of trailers that come out where games look like that, and it's like, there's sometimes too good to be true type of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I mean, even if Stalker 2 comes out next year, I think Stalker 2 would get it over Atomic Heart.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah.
And then I keep forgetting that Jedi Survivor's coming out as well. I think that one definitely gets nominated this go round. If it doesn't,
it's going to get snubbed.
If it gets snubbed, then that should discredit the Keeleys altogether.
Yeah, Diablo 4 could there's people talking about Diablo 4. Yeah. Diablo 4 could get in there as well.
I think Calarie mentioned Zelda. Like Zelda would be the two.
Zelda's a lock that'll be in there, and that could probably win. Yes. Actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Zelda is definitely DLC, but we won't say that too loud.
Well, I mean, is that even like?
They're using the exact same map.
Is there an advancement on anything on the
No.
Switch?
No, it is 0 advancement, but story. Same map, same enemies, but different boss possibly. And
It's going to be a different form of Ganon.
yeah.
So what you're saying is there is no Switch 2. Okay.
If
I
that
don't-
Switch 2
yeah.
happens next year, that'd be
Dude,
that.
Switch 2
would-
is not
If they
happening.
do a Switch 2, but if they do a March release, that we would hear something right now to get hype up.
What about
So,
like
if they're-
Hogwarts?
If they do an announcement, we'll probably hear something probably at E3 or their Treehouse of Pain or whatever their Nintendo Direct. They'll do one of those to announce the Switch 2 that will be out holiday. Now, is it going to be the DLSS powerhouse that we're hoping? I doubt it. Will it be better than what the specs are now? I'm hoping
Hopefully.
by a ton. I'm hoping it's at least on the Series S level, but it's Nintendo. Remember,
What the hell is that, Psycho?
I think Fuzzy's playing High on Life.
no,
Oh,
no,
somebody's
I'm
playing
not.
High on Life.
it's High in Life is paused right now. And
Someone,
the
Oh.
fucking-
someone said going to the bathroom and taking a fucking shit or something like that.
yeah,
That's
I'm
funny.
like, I thought it was someone. I
That's
thought it literally. I
hilarious. thought
thought somebody was saying something like, saying if I thought it was like my stepdad or something. I was like, what the fuck?
It's funny. Spider-Man 2's next year also.
Yeah.
Maybe
That'll
Spider-Man
be
hasn't been
nominated
announced.
just because it's Sony.
I
No,
don't know.
no,
I
big
think
No,
Switch
they
version.
haven't announced it yet.
They said this Insomniac came out and said that Spider-Man 2 is on track still for 2023. Everybody was saying God of War is not going to come out this year either, and it came out. You know, like
Still on track. Okay.
yeah, that's what they said. Insomniac came out. So
But again, Spider-Man 2 is DLC, so they could get that out pretty quick.
so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people, that is only on PS5 supposedly, you know, but like people expect that, you know, like these games are going to be delayed. I think I have faith in Insomniac and getting this thing done, you know. So I would say that could be in there as also. I mean, but 2023 is nuts, everybody. It's like
So you're saying there's crunch going on in Insomniac?
I didn't. No, that's not what I said. I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
But what about like Hogwarts Legacy? Is that just going to come and go?
That's gonna get nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Forspoken ain't going to win nothing. I can tell you that right now. Everybody
Ooh,
playing
I
that
gotta
game
try
is
that demo,
not very
but
happy.
Everybody that I trust feedback from is like,
Harry or Hogwarts
played
may get like family game just because it's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But
It'll
What-
probably get like music. It'll probably get like
now they like to give music awards to like created music from like orchestras and shit. So I think Harry Potter's
Yeah.
just gonna use the Harry Potter music. So it's like
yeah. What do you think makes it orchestras? They
yeah,
don't
I
have,
know.
like,
I'm just saying they like
They don't have like
music.
Link Biscuit playing
They-
Hogwarts.
They like newly created music, not music we've heard 20 years ago.
no. They actually, I actually posted a song for I don't know if it's the intro, but it's totally nothing from Harry Potter. It has some notes that kind of has like, it's kind of like that Vanilla Ice. They kind of stole it from Queen type riff.
what?
It's Vanilla
yeah,
Ice and
it's-
Queen just had a baby.
No, but no, I'm saying that there's moments where it sounds like it's going to be like the Harry Potter theme song, but it changes into something different, and so they give like couple snippets to kind of
So
tie it in.
confused.
How are you confused?
I'm just like picturing Harry Potter and then Vanilla Ice.
No, I'm saying
It's who
because
Vanilla
they
Ice got
changed
that
it,
from
because they
Queen. I'm
changed-
just gonna
Yeah,
say.
They changed some of the notes, and then they
Yeah.
changed. So that's what they did. They used snippets of the Harry Potter theme song.
So when they like fly into the castle, it's just do.
They fly us into the castle and say, "All right, stop.
Exactly.
Let's collaborate and listen." Harry's back with a brand new invention. Something. Grab a hold of me tightly. Flows like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop you? I don't know. All right, sorry.
Oh, Crime Boss. That's because he's going to be in
Crime
Crime
Boss.
Boss. So
So we got, all right. What about, I'm going to go through some of these games for 2023 because this is a fun discussion right now. I'm liking this. Just a craziness about how crazy 2023 is right now is insane. So, there's a new Fire Emblem that,
That could potentially, those sometimes do real good.
Dead Space.
yeah.
We've seen it
Depends.
before. It's a remake.
Right. It won't get because remake. All right. So what about let me go through this list. Wow. Okay. We got what was Wild Hearts? I don't remember Wild Hearts. What was Wild Hearts?
Wild Hearts was that one from with
Isn't
the
that
it
about
was
the-
like
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of
What is
stuff
it
on that
called?
recently.
it's like the fucking the goddamn
It's next
holy-
gen only.
It's from Ubisoft. It's like
It's a EA
World
Koei
Hunter.
Techno.
World
Wild Hearts isn't.
Monster
no, it's a
Hunter?
Monster Hunter clone. That's right.
Yeah.
It is from
It's
EA.
EA's publishing it, but Koei Techno is making
Right.
it.
Okay. I remember that now.
EA.
Yeah, that looked really good. Okay. Watch Skull and Bones win Game of the Year. That'd be insane.
No.
Fuck that.
All right. So like Company Heroes 3 is not
Probably a
it's-
strategy game
yeah.
if they have that.
Yeah, there'll be if there's a strategy game category. Octopath Traveler 2. That's pretty big.
There's definitely gonna be one of those surprise like indie hits that
Yeah.
always gets up there, like Astray or some shit.
Oh, Hades
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, Hades 2's coming out. That could win something. Wolong. Who knows if that? I don't think it's probably going to do that great, but it could be nominated for like action game type category or something.
Unless it's like mind blowing like Elden Ring, but I don't. see
Yeah,
that.
we'll see. There's that Bayonetta Origins game on
The
Switch.
paper
Yeah, that looked
Bayonetta?
weird. Yeah.
I don't see that winning Game of the Year.
No, not game. I'm not
No.
talking about game of the just game of the year candidates here. Star Wars Jedi Survivor could be nominated for that. The Resident Evil 4 remake.
No remix.
No remakes, period. Even Resident Evil,
I don't
because
think-
Resident Evil remakes are fucking sick. Like
Yeah,
they're-
but
those
I
are new
don't think-
games.
Those are the only ones that like seem like different games, but I still
Yeah.
don't think it's.
I don't
it
think they will
counts.
put
Yeah.
any remakes up there for Game of the Year.
So
Even KOTOR.
Dead Island 2 is on this list, but supposedly like it didn't really have a good showing recently.
That's because they had a bunch of live actors trying to make stupid jokes on the showcase.
Oh,
and it's
okay.
like,
So it wasn't the game.
Yeah,
it wasn't the game.
I
it's
heard
just the
negative
way they showed
feedback.
it.
Okay. All right.
dude, that game that was so fucking stupid. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I watched that, Jasper. That was the dumbest fucking thing I watched. Like the first 5 minutes, they were making fun of themselves.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm turning this off. No,
Yeah, I
fuck
just
it.
stopped watching.
Yeah. Calarie says Lies of P. Black Myth Wukong, is that slated for 2023?
Wukong? Yeah.
I don't even know if that's like
Platforms
got
that's
a
coming to-
platform yet. Yeah.
No,
We'll
Black Myth Wukong has not been announced for any consoles, just PC. So I don't think that will be coming out anytime soon. Wulong, if it's polished better than what the demo was.
Yeah.
Those little.
We're getting for the first time in years, we're getting a new Rocksteady game supposedly next year. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Now that's one I could see getting delayed.
Yeah. You think so? Again?
I mean, it's already
could.
been delayed once or twice, but like I mean, WB and their whole situation, I just don't have any faith in it.
That game could end up being a
Soul
Game of the
Side.
Year candidate if it comes out, though. I mean,
Or it could be like a 60.
it could. Or it could be like Gotham Knights. I just hope to God that game's 60 frames after Gotham Knights. All right. Then we got, let's see. Oh, Street Fighter 6, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16. Man, this is
PlayStation
fucking-
exclusive.
I mean, we've
for
already went through
2
like
years.
10 games that kind of dwarf most of the games that came out this year, right? That's insane for 2023. It's like everything that was supposed to be big the last 2 years is all happening next year.
Black Myth Wukong was announced for Xbox and PlayStation. I do not remember
so.
that. I didn't see no console announcement.
They,
Just PC.
I think they said something like PC and coming to consoles, but they didn't
Right.
say exactly.
Yeah,
and I think there's a bidding war behind the scenes on that one for marketing.
Oh yeah.
So this list is telling me that Alan Wake 2 was slated for 2023.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to be a pretty big game.
Yeah.
To
Is
say the
Remedy
least.
still working on that?
Yeah. But Remedy also delays games all the
Yeah.
time. I would not count on this actually happening next year.
Yeah, because they're supposed to also be working on Control
Max
2 as
Payne
well.
1 and
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, and Max Payne.
Arc Raiders is a new game from Embark, a newer studio that looks really cool, but we haven't seen anything from it in a long time. Also,
I just
They
don't.
got that
I
other
think
game. That
that's
other
going to be like a
shooter
co-op
with the-
style game. Those usually don't get Game of the Year. It's usually story stuff.
yeah. There's Arc Raiders. I mean Arc 2. Arc 2 is happening next year. That's gonna be a big game, regardless.
It's gonna be a big
yeah.
game, but it's that
Yeah.
arc jankiness. that
Yeah, it ain't gonna
shit.
be.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed Mirage.
it could put Assassin's Creed back on the map, but it's not gonna get Game of the Year. I think it was
may get nominated though.
Which one is that? Is that the Jap?
Mirage is the desert one. It's like going back to. where
Oh
Altair was.
yeah. Okay, that's right. Atlas Fallen. That game looked pretty cool. Avatar. It is like next year Ubisoft's comeback year, potentially.
Well, we'll see because they delay
We'll see.
everything.
Yeah.
I got a feeling Ubisoft is going to take a serious fall here soon. I hate
Think
to
so?
say it.
Baldur's Gate 3 officially launches next year. That could be a big deal, especially if it gets announced for consoles. I think as long as that game only stays on PC, it's not going to get the recognition that it could deserve, right? Blue Protocol, that's one that really stood out.
That's that anime game.
Yeah. Well, this list
Yeah.
says Black Myth Wukong, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S.
That's what it says on Google. I just went to their website. I couldn't find anything on their website though, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird that they would do PS4 and Xbox One as well.
Yeah.
No,
This is GameSpot.com. I'm not saying this. This is GameSpot, guys. So I don't know 100%.
IGN still has it TBA on platforms besides PC.
Right.
yeah. Wiki says main current gen consoles and PC, but doesn't stipulate Xbox or PS5. Now, who's Game Rant says PS5 and Xbox Series X, does not stipulate Series S, just X.
One game that's supposed to be next year too is Silk Song.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
that might be the indie darling
Yeah.
if Hades 2 doesn't make
Hollow Knight was like a lot of people consider like one of the best indie games of all time.
Whenever
So
you have like an indie show, you always see Silk Song in the chat just spamming it all the fucking time.
oh, Silk Song is like
Yeah.
Silk Song is huge. That's also Game Pass Day 1, which is a big deal, right?
it. Yeah,
But that's gonna be a big ass release when Silk Song comes out, as far as like the indie community at least. But I think it's gonna transcend a little bit more because of how all the hype that the indie community is gonna be pushing on that for sure. Then you got man, there's so many damn games. Like really, this list is so huge, guys, that it's taking me forever to scroll through it because I'm still in the D's right now. I mentioned Silk Song just because it popped in my head. Dune, the Spice Wars, that's survival MMO.
It's probably gonna have
yeah.
some janky stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Ayuden Chronicles is gonna be cool. That's in Game Pass.
I wouldn't.
Let's see. Exo Primal happens next year. That's a Capcom
Finally.
game. Yeah, it's gonna be big. I think pretty good.
I don't think it'll be fun, but it's not gonna get probably be like high 70s, low 80s.
So there's 2 Final Fantasies next year.
Remake
Yeah.
part 2 and then
Yeah, and 16.
16.
The same year. Is that a mistake?
no.
no,
They've been working on the remake for like
No, what I
18
mean
years.
is that a mistake for them to release both of them the same year.
Oh.
I'm not saying a typo.
because-
I'm saying like if I were them, I would do one next year and one the following.
Well, they probably have one in 2024 as well.
Yeah, because
this
You're
is
right.
Square
Probably right.
Enix,
Yeah.
right? So they want money. They're going to release
Yeah.
all of them and hope that, you know,
I mean,
it's like
both those
hope
games
for
are
the
gonna
best.
sell like fucking crazy too. You
And
know?
and this is what's probably going to happen. They're going to release the second part 2, Rebirth, because it's coming to Xbox, correct? Or is that one not coming?
Rebirth is not
It's
coming.
still unannounced.
No, we don't get any of the remakes.
Okay.
Yet.
So
Yeah, they're supposed to. Deathlord asked, aren't they supposed to come out with a Tactics remake? That was in the Nvidia leaks. They have not officially announced it yet, but everything else that was in the Nvidia leaks, including Tactics Ogre, has come true. So I expect a Final Fantasy Tactics remake to be announced maybe next year. We'll see. Flintlock looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that one. I'm looking forward to that one.
Forza Motorsports. Motorsport is only one. It's singular. Forza Motorsport. I think it'll win Racing Game of the Year hands down. I don't think.
No, PlayStation's gonna
Yeah.
make Destruction All Stars 2, and it's gonna win.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm surprised that server is still up. I tried getting into a game like a couple of weeks ago, and it took over 2 minutes. So yeah,
there's no one. There's bots on you playing it.
yeah.
Let's see. Man, this is crazy, guys. Immortals of Avium. We saw that game at the Game Awards. I don't know what it is yet.
It's I was looking into that. It's a creative director from Sledgehammer Games who makes Call of Duty. They left, went and made their own studio, and is making a Magic first-person based shooter. So I'm assuming you're gonna shoot like fireballs and shit.
If it's a shooter, probably won't be nominated for very much, but it could be really good. Let's see. I'm in the L's now. Oh, Spider-Man 2. There's that. We already talked about that. Metal Slug. Oh, finally, Metal Slug Tactics. Oh, Metal Slug Tactics is only on Switch and PC. That sucks ass.
Yeah.
Why? Minecraft Legends comes out next year. Could be an under the radar type thing.
Probably a family game, not me or something. I don't know what the fuck
Are you okay, Psycho?
No, yeah, that game is gonna be.
Oh,
okay. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic for all
What,
the
Minecraft Legends?
Minecraft fans. Everyone's gonna love it. It's gonna be Xbox
Don't hate on Minecraft. Minecraft's all right.
greatest game. Yeah.
Is it Nightingale? Another indie darling here as well. Oxenfree 2 will come out. Oxenfree 1 was really popular.
That might get nominated as well because I think the original one got nominated.
Yeah. Payday 3 is a thing.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I guess it's on this list. Payday 3, PC.
I think they got
and,
delayed like a couple times.
yeah, PC and
I
consoles.
thought that was in
announced.
like development hell or something.
It might be. A Planet of Lana. Let's see. Redfall, obviously. Replaced could be an indie smash hit as well.
I think with Silk Song and Hades 2, it's going to get overlooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
loved on Xbox.
Oh, Silent Hill Ascension happening. Supposed
That's
to be.
the Bloober one for PlayStation, right?
I think so. They announced like 5 Silent Hill games all at the same show, so it's kind of hard to keep track of what's what. Stalker 2, Starfield, obviously. Damn, Jasper, there's like, oh, never mind. There's only one Star Trek game. Star Trek Resurgence.
Yeah, that's the Telltale game.
Oh, okay. What? And then there's Star Wars.
That was supposed
Jedi
to be out
Survivor, Star
last
Wars
April. So,
right. Street Fighter 6, Suicide Squad. We already talked about that. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster. Man, a Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown will probably be the only other good racing game next year.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there?
Streets of Hong Kong.
Yeah,
So
Hong
that
Kong,
should give us
gambling
a
and all this kind of
nice nighttime racing, genre.
I expect that to have a little jank in it as well. The last Test Drive open world games had a little bit of jank in them, but they were still really fun, good racing games. Last Case of Benedict Fox will be an indie darling as well, I think.
Yeah.
Lords of the Fallen will happen next year.
That's another good one.
That Benedict Fox game, it could be like a Ori situation, depending on how emotional they make that game. Like, if they make it really emotional, it could hit people really hard.
Armored Core 6 isn't even on this list, but that's the thing. I just had to throw that out there, obviously. Let's see. Man. Holy shit. Warhammer games, there's like 5 of them. Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun, Warhammer 40,000 Darktide for Series X and S, Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader for PC and consoles, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2 grabbed some people by surprise at the Game Awards also. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sure there's some we missed, and there's going to be new ones announced.
Yeah. There's probably stuff that's already announced that we forgot that's not even on that list.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, like, these lists are never complete. But hey, before we get into tidbits, guys, basically 2023 is going to be fucking bananas. Absolutely crazy. Before we get into tidbits, I do have a word from our sponsor, Manscaped. 'Tis the season for clean balls. Fa la 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 la. Our friends at Manscaped are helping you clear your driveway for safe travels this holiday season. From stocking stuffers to white elephants, Manscaped's products are at the top of every wish list. Grab some crop mops for your pops or the body buffer for the holiday lover. Win this year's white elephant gifts and help all the men in your life go from eggnog to nice hog this December by going to manscaped.com and using code FUNSPECULATION for 20% off and free shipping. Yeah, Manscaped's pretty cool shit, guys. I like it. They do have the Platinum Package. It's a one-stop shop for the man who deserves it all. It has everything needed to help you deck the halls from face to balls. Just in time for mistletoe season. The Platinum Package has each product from the best-selling Performance Package Plus, Ultra Premium Body Wash, Ultra Premium 2-in-1 Shampoo plus Conditioner, and Ultra Premium Deodorant. It's the best way to smell fresh from your sandy hat to your candy cane. And we got High on Life in the background too, adding to the conversation. That's amazing. Yeah, so check it out, guys. It's good products. 20% off, like I said, and free shipping. So get 20% off free shipping. Code FUNSPECULATION at manscaped.com. It's 20% off free shipping. Manscaped.com and use code FUNSPECULATION. Get your Jenga balls ready for the holidays, everybody. Now, appreciate you guys listening to the ads here as well. That those codes do help our channel as well. So appreciate anybody who goes out and uses the Fun Speculation code at manscaped.com. I know there's lots of Manscaped pods out there, so there's lots of codes floating around out there. But appreciate the Fun Speculation users for you smooth ball guys out there. You know, you want to have fun speculation balls. That's right. Does it make a difference?
You can keep your balls.
Okay.
You keep your balls to yourself, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry. All right, everybody. All right, let's get into some tidbits, everybody. This is the segment. Well, hold on. Let me do this first. Let's go. All right, this is Tidbits. This is the segment where we look ahead at the games coming out for the week. We already talked about 2023, but what's here this week? We're about to find out. Starting with, if I can find the damn game. Wavetail.
Rated everyone 10 and up.
I have no idea what this is.
I don't either.
One night when I was a kid, Grandma had a drink and let me stay up late.
Okay.
Then she started telling me.
Oh, that's the same people that make Spirit Furious.
It was just 2 days.
Yeah.
after
Oh, was
Grandma's
it?
death.
Okay. Yeah, this is
They took
Like
$30.
They sat in
No,
there looking
Thunder
through his
for-
hundreds and hundreds of notes
Thunder
and
for
drawings
Play.
when something
Oh.
just
Thunderful. That's the publisher, I think.
Granny
Okay.
said
So
they saw
$30,
the earth
and it's on everything.
They must have been so scared.
And it's tonight, I think. Today.
Yep.
Looks pretty fun.
I remember Wind Waker being different. This looks weird.
It looks like a fun platformer.
Yeah.
Anybody out there playing this or planning on getting it?
You have a kind heart, Siggy.
I'm
Maybe.
this is one of those I'd probably wait until it's in Game Pass, and if
Yeah.
I wind up enjoying it,
mother
you
in
know,
that
do
respect.
the full out purchase, but it does look pretty cool though.
Yeah.
She's at peace now. Don't you think?
Oh my God, is she taking her grandma to like heaven? What the hell's or she saved her from the ocean? I don't know what's happening there. It looks sad and happy all at the same time. I'm emotional. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, we got Crisis Core, Final Fantasy Reunion. Yeah, this is the one that's actually coming to Xbox. This is the bone they threw to Xbox. Coming out to Xbox, Switch, and PC, and PS4 and PS5, everything. $50.
And this one's what, like a prequel, right? For 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a mobile game, I think, originally, wasn't it?
On
No.
PSP, PSP.
Yeah, it's PSP. I have it on PSP.
I didn't mean mobile, I meant handheld. Sorry.
Yeah.
I meant handheld. I never played this.
Oh,
it
he
was
summoned
okay.
semantics. It's Moltres from Pokemon.
Maybe it'll be good.
Yeah.
But I remember people saying that this was one they didn't like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because it wasn't. Because I don't think it had materia and things like that. Even if it was a
just
prequel, it was totally
simplistic.
different.
right.
I was like, okay.
Well, it was made for the PSP, which was, not a beacon of power
Graphics-
back then.
I mean, yeah, but if you're gonna say it's gonna be like a prequel and not have a lot of the mechanics of 7, don't it was just like almost like a maybe marketing try to say that it was, and
yeah.
the story
is-
might have.
This is Gris. It's I see a lot of people talk about it, so it's probably gonna be one of those like indie artsy fartsy games that everyone loves.
Yeah.
Isn't this one
$17.
coming to Xbox or not?
Yeah, it's PS5 and Series X and S.
But not Game Pass, correct?
I don't.
I don't think so. They're pushing the boundaries. It's only next gen only here, guys.
It's like watercolors.
It's pretty looking game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a journey or whatever where people like fall in love with it.
Mhm.
Right. Next up, everybody. High on Life. You caught my stream earlier. You saw me playing a little over an hour of this.
Plant games.
This game is knucking futz. It does have some performance issues right now, but it's still fun and worth playing, I think, right now, if you can tolerate it.
You're just gonna leave me here in what, space?
Everybody lives in space.
I'll be honest, I'm hating the sister. She can shut that one up.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of her either.
But that beginning
Stab
scene.
your sister?
Oh, where she like, yeah.
Yeah. Want a party?
So tight. Dinner first and some bubble bath maybe first.
Look at us, blasting away.
I really did have fun with my over hour playing.
Oh yeah, that's one of my children. They died.
But I noticed the same issues Psycho did, Jasper did, and also Pong did in our DMs. So it's up to you whether you want to wait for a patch.
Hey there, I'm knifey. Stab, stab. Yes, more. I need more stabbing.
I was having really a lot of fun though.
Everyone fight each other!
I was like a little idiot.
I will probably be playing this tonight and tomorrow.
Well, okay. Well, now I can't.
Don't know, Alvin. Jasper's gonna try switching to PC. so.
Yeah, I'm switching to PC to see if it's better or worse. We'll see.
That is Game Pass day one. Also, it is a good game, I think, overall, so far.
I mean, it came out early, so if it was scheduled for tomorrow, they might have the
I don't know what
update.
it was. It said the 12th on the release date for everything. So, or
No,
the
13th was the release date.
I thought it was the 12th.
No, it was always the 13th because I always said it's the day after my birthday.
Neon White's hitting PlayStation.
Yeah, they had to deny, or either deny or decline the Xbox Game Pass rumor.
Yeah, look for this
Yeah, I think
potentially
it's
in Game Pass next year.
This was one of the best indie games this year, at least review wise.
I don't really like the running first person type games though too much.
Yeah.
Next up, I'm turning this down, Sconch, because it's Steam.
Little Gator game.
Okay.
It's gonna be loud. Yeah.
It didn't have any audio hardly, so. This is Lil Gator Game on Switch and PC. Comes out on Wednesday, the 14th, for $14.
I feel like this is one that would have been in Game Pass. I don't know.
Lil Gator Game. The birdie won't budge. Can I help? Chirp, chirp. Got it. That gives me an idea.
I'm gonna take a photo of this gazelle.
Whee! I'm gonna get electrocuted.
Not if you only stand on one of them.
Paint's coming out of my ass.
Oh, now he's a stripper.
Ride the horsey.
That's a big gator on that tree.
Lil Gator Game coming to Switch and PC.
Playtonic Games. Those people that make ukulele who originally made Banjo-Kazooie.
All right, next up, everybody. Ooh, this is a big one. This is a big one. And this one's getting some stellar reviews.
It's DLC, bro.
DLC.
Witcher 3. Oh, this is okay. This is the
that's
original
complete
edition.
The next one's the next gen update.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I don't know why they listed it twice, but I guess if you had like the non-DLC one, you get the update, and then if you have the complete edition with the DLC, you get the update. So
Oh, okay, this looks way better already.
By order of the hierarch, whosoever conceals a mage in their home shall burn alongside him or her.
Anyway, the point to it was that Witcher 3, the complete edition with all the expansions, is coming out, and then also the next gen update is coming out on the 14th.
Right.
And she's in danger.
I don't know if we need to watch much more of it.
Yeah. I just actually want to see the good-looking one real quick.
Yeah.
I've got to find Siri.
And if you find her, the girl will die.
Those fucking witches. I hate those witches.
Why are you helping her?
Because she's a danger, a mortal one, a power that can
I mean, this is gonna be looking fantastic.
Find her, Geralt. Before the wild hunt does.
Free next gen update.
All right. I'll go ahead and skip
I think
on.
the Witcher TV show comes out in December, the spin-off show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's called like Blood Origins or some shit.
Yeah.
Blood Orgy?
Yep.
Blood Orgy.
This is AKA Aka, AKA, I don't know. Also known as the game. I don't know. It's on Switch and PC for $11.69 right now.
Yeah, it's like 10% off on the Switch, I believe.
Is this Animal
I think it's the
Crossing?
same price for it's
Pretty much the Animal Crossing clone.
Nah, maybe. You ain't catch any bugs though. What's all the bugs?
I mean, this might be Animal Crossing. The game. It's a different name,
It's
almost.
truly a heartwarming adventure.
Also known as Animal Crossing. AKA Animal Crossing.
Adventure.
Yeah, it's crossing with the K. Yeah. That's the thing. There'll be fans of it, I'm sure.
That's why it's a red panda, Jesse.
This next one is
Upon a time,
Blacktail.
twin sisters.
Yeah.
Zora.
PS5,
seeing
Series
this.
X and S, and PCs for $23.99.
Does Shoney showcase about this?
Once upon a time,
I don't know.
was a freak with no face.
Yeah, I think it was in the Sony showcase a while back.
Can't hide from Baba, princess. How much longer you want to be a nobody? I just need to find the.
Is this a horror
What I
game?
really want to find is
Puzzle game?
the hut.
A bit of both.
Explore a mythical world. A bow and arrow game?
This forest.
It looks like it's trying to be a little like Hellblade-ish.
Not bad.
Maybe like a first person, like Don't Starve or something.
Yeah, I have no idea.
If anything bad happens, always head straight to the Red Oak.
Head to
Always
the Red
go
Oak.
to the Red Oak.
Got it.
Blacktail.
All right, next up we got another. Was this a free up? No, this is a port.
Yeah.
I
Started there.
swear to God, we see Resident Evil 7 every fucking week on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because of how they released their cloud stuff.
Yeah.
Like each week it was like, oh, get Resident Evil 4, get Resident Evil 5, and it's just like, really? And they didn't do individual videos for any of them. It's like, oh, this is just the whole Resident Evil Cloud Edition.
Yeah, this is the same trailer.
It
Like
starts at like 101 or something.
at 101.
I put a game in there below this. It's like maybe.
Oh, here we go.
DMs below it.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 is happening on the Switch, which doesn't have anything for adults. Apparently, it's only a kids system, right?
Yeah, this isn't a high performance console. It's obvious.
Well, it is playing on the cloud, so. But it's got cloud technology. What?
You just went back to black.
No, I've stop it. Okay, sorry about that. All right, we got one more coming. One more game, guys. This one is a sequel to a game that was pretty damn good, if you ask me. River City Girls 2. And this is on everything.
Yep.
How much is it, Jasper?
I couldn't find a price. There's no price up on the storefront for it. I assume like 30, maybe.
This is like a classic, like brawler, you know, Streets of Rage style type, Turtles type game. Really good gameplay. The first one is pretty damn hard.
River City Girls 2.
3-bit would probably love this game. All right.
Looks like it got delayed because it ain't summer.
Yeah, it ain't summer. That game had definitely been delayed, for sure. All right, let's catch up on a super chat. Got a super chat a little while ago from John TJ. Shout out to John TJ. Appreciate you, dude. Said, "Hey Mav, what do you think?" With $5 says, "Hey Mav, what do you think about Company of Heroes 3 coming to Xbox?" Yes, I think yes. Like, I've been calling it out. Like, there's no excuse for Sega not to do it. No excuse for any of these big RTS games, especially ones like Company of Heroes, not to come to consoles. They dropped the info. They said it's coming to PlayStation and Xbox. I am super pumped about this. This is another one high on my list for next year. RTS on console is going to be a big thing for me this year. We talked about how amazing 2023 is going to be. Between Age 4 and Company Heroes 3.
And Age 2.
And Age 2. I'm going to be eating good on console with RTS games, and it's going to be glorious. The first time major RTS games have released on console, really, since like Halo Wars 2, maybe. And that's not even like a full blown. That's like a RTS light kind of in some ways. I mean, before that, you're talking 360 era with like the Command & Conquer games, Supreme Commander, stuff like that. Lord of the Rings, Battlefield Middle-earth 2. I'm super pumped. Psycho, I know you're probably pumped too. If you like RTS, don't you?
I am very pumped. I finally get to play Company Heroes on a console, so I'm happy. Yeah.
Right on.
Oh, it doesn't sound very pumped.
Yeah.
No, I'm fucking exhausted, bro.
Yeah, he had a big birthday. All those neighbors' moms visited.
Yeah.
John TJ with another $2 super chat said EA has no excuse to make a Command & Conquer. You're speaking my language, John TJ. Not only that, I want Embracer Group, who owns the Lord of the Rings license now, to get somebody to make a fucking another Lord of the Rings RTS. Let's go. But yes, EA has no excuse. Bring back Command & Conquer. To me, the father of RTS games. All right, everybody. It's been real. Thank you, chat, for being here. This was a fun show. We kind of got sidetracked on the whole like 2023 games thing. So that was because of a super chat. But thanks for that. It was a fun conversation. We'll have no PM in the PM this week. But we will have a Xbox Ultimate this week. So stay tuned on Friday for that and random game streams and stuff. Hey, another $5 super chat from John TJ. Shout out to John. Says, hey, check out Tempest Rising. It's a RTS. It's exactly like Command & Conquer. It's a spinoff. THQ is making it. They threw shade at EA. I think I remember seeing a trailer for that, but I don't remember. Did it have base building? So I'll check it out. I will check it out, John. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. But let's get everybody out of here. The birthday boy first. Psycho, where can everybody find you?
Just want to say thanks to everyone that showed up and give me all the warm and wonderful birthday wishes on Twitter and tonight. Thank you all. You make every day special, but today was just that much better. Thank you, and you can find me social media everywhere. Psychonauts8. You can find me Xbox Live when I'm sometimes around, and Mondays, of course, FSP 10 o'clock. and Xbox Ultimate, 10 o'clock as well on Fridays. You catch me there. Thank you, guys.
Right on, man. Thanks as always, Psycho. Jasper, where can everybody find you, sir?
Yo, check it out. Lord Jasper on Twitter, Lord Master Jasper on YouTube. Been real busy, so I haven't got to do much YouTube stuff, but hopefully that kind of comes down next week with the holidays coming up. So I can start streaming a little bit more. And my internet's it went out again tonight, but hopefully it gets more stable so I can actually do that. But that's where I'm at. That's what I do. FSP Monday, 10 o'clock here on this channel, and Xbox Ultimate Friday, 10 o'clock here on this channel. Check it out.
Right on, dude. And the fuzzy one himself. What about you, sir?
Oh, just thank you for having me on. Thank everyone that call us live and those that will catch us on replay. Always enjoy being on here with you guys. For anybody that wants to hear my rambles or rants on anything gaming related, just follow me on social media, particularly Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere. And then catch us here on Fun Speculations channel on Friday for Xbox Ultimate, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on this channel. And then come back here first thing Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for another episode of FSP. Look forward to seeing you guys there.
Right on, man. And chat, you're awesome. Have a good one. Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Bye. Don't forget.